Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and him. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo won't make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host Aramis,
and this is 40 Keys, and I'm so glad to be in the house of the Post Podium Podcast.
Yes, sir. You saying? We rocking Bills today.
Oh, you got a Bill shirt on. Let's go.
He lost some sort of bet. I don't know what it was.
Really,
but he did.
I ain't lose no bet. What you talking about?
Oh, Bills over everything. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead with your bad self.
Man, that's what I'm talking. Okay, all right.
Also, I am taking initiative to do a simple practice NFL drafting thing.
No.
Yes.
Wait, he's practicing what?
Say it again.
I'm practicing doing a NFL fantasy league thing.
What?
I knew it was coming.
Oh, let's go. I'm ready.
I'm doing a practice thing on my own, and then next year I will join the Post Podium Podcast.
Bet.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. Rich, what's going on? He said, hey, it's King McDermott for president as always.
And Roy said we're calling him a failure. What?
Well, him specifically, yes, but anybody else, no.
What brought that on? Where'd that come from?
From the thumbnail.
The
title rather. Why Bills fans have failed.
Well, I guess I failed too, Roy. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know how you guys view me in my fandom with the Bills. You probably think I suck and I'm negative at every turn. But I don't think you're a failure, and I don't think I am either. We're 1 minute and I heard the word fantasy. You're right, but it wasn't me or A this time. It was Junie. Junie said fantasy, and he stands 10 toes down on it.
Yep. I stand 10 toes.
Nico, what up? D, what up?
Laura, what's good with it? You all right?
Yeah, I just gotta get the charger.
Okay. But to fall apart already.
No.
Hey, can I ask a question while we got, let's see, we got Mike, we got Columbus, we got, Laura's now. But right now, where y'all at in the Discord? Where y'all at? I need y'all to represent. I'm talking to Dorothy, I'm talking to Laura, I'm talking to A, I'm talking to Alton, I'm talking to OLI, I'm talking to people but I want to talk to y'all too. You know, we ain't got to talk about football all the time. We talk about all sorts of stuff in there, all sorts of murky nonsense. You see it in there. Is NSW for what's the NS? What is the word? And NSFW for this podium, this podcast, but it's good for the Discord. Get in there and get it cracking because we talk about all things, everything. I don't care if it has anything to do with it. It could be anything. But your members, what are you doing?
Rich getting smart with folk over here.
I see.
That's where you need to be, dude. Like, with all the conversations we be having, like, I think Laura's like the only one that's like really bucking the system in there right now because everybody else is like fire McDermott, pretty much.
Dorothy in there, she bought it. You know, Beth, you too. I see you green over there.
Yeah,
Beth, what are you doing? Come on in. We'll keep it nice and warm for you. Yeah, Laura does, but she needs some help. She needs the help. See, I think I'm objective with it, but at the same time, the message still stands clear. You know, I'm not a fanboy, but when it comes to that Discord, you're gonna see a different side of me sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think we've just about seen a lot of different sides of Key.
You have.
We have.
We've seen you rage. We've seen you be calm and collected and silly. We've seen a little bit of everything.
You've seen the true me. The true me is up in that Discord. If y'all want to know who I am, get to the Discord.
There you go.
You won't be disappointed.
I've already seen it.
Nico says the first step is admitting we are the problem. You know what?
You want to go? Well, you want to do stuff first? You want to go straight there?
Let's go straight there. Let's just get it out the way. I think we got enough people in here.
They already brought it up.
Yeah, I don't want people to feel like we're wasting their time. So let's get to
wasting time on this show.
Never.
They join this for the vibes. They want to hang out with A and Keys.
I hope that's the case.
I hope so too.
Yeah. That would be dope. So here's the deal. I don't want us to start off when it comes to the title, why Bills fans have failed. I don't want us to think failed in terms of we're lacking something or anything really. I guess what I'm speaking to when I say that we, and I include myself in that, where we as Bills fans have failed is allowing other Bills fans to become crazed with relevance and success. And for a lot of the drought, we've been on this wave of 6-10 is not enough, 7-9 is not enough, 8-8 is not enough, 9-7 is not enough, if it doesn't mean that we make a playoff. If we go 9-7 and we make the playoffs, 2017, then 9-7 is great. But if we're winning all of those games and we're still middling in the league and not being a great team or a bad enough team to get great players, that 6-10, 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 with no playoffs, it's a pretty bad existence. And we lived that for years and years and years. We only had 1 3-13 season in which the next year we got Marcel Darius, right? So we got to see what that felt like once in the time that I've been a fan anyway. So my reason for kind of trying to bring this to the forefront of our attention is there was a realization in that time span of the drought where 6-10, 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, it was frustrating. But the question is, why was it frustrating? It was frustrating because we had gotten used to it. We understood that while we weren't one of the worst teams in the league, we also weren't one of the best teams in the league. And it didn't feel as great as it used to after a while, right? So I'm bringing that up to start this conversation because we're basically going to work our way into the Stefon Diggs conversation, which is where I'm really going with all of this. But
okay.
To preface all of this, I think everybody needs to take some responsibility for the tables being jumped through, for the ketchup and mustard being thrown all over everybody.
Okay, I was with you till you said that. That's the one that gets me. The tables, but the ketchup and mustard, man, that's just bad. That's just bad.
Right. But the reason I point to that stuff when I say crazed is those are things we weren't doing during the drought. Those are things we weren't doing until we got into this craze of we're winning and everything is great. And then we start thinking of all kinds of wild and weird and crazy stuff to do that gets picked up by national media, right? And we're responsible for that. We're responsible for how we come across to our own people, right? So the idea for us going forward needs to be, if we had a level-headedness about our position in the drought, where everybody just kind of understood we're not going to get too high when the team starts winning, and we're not going to get too low either, because we know we're not one of the worst teams, but we also know we're not one of the best teams, and we still got to go against the Patriots twice a year. So even if we started 5-0 like we did with Trent Edwards and Ryan Fitzpatrick, we're not going to get too high on that. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like people during that drought period were like, slow up.
You know what's funny? I just looked up the Bills Mafia. You know the history of that?
No.
History of that. I did use AI. Okay. I don't use AI too much because I'm old, but I'm not old. And I think you should have to work for everything you get. But I said, real quick, it says the Bills Mafia was gained prominence in 2011 when diehard Buffalo Bills fans Del Reed, Breon Harris, and Leslie Willie coined the term on Twitter as an inside joke. It started as a playful response to NFL insider Adam Schefter blocking Bills fans, but quickly evolved into a passionate community embraced by the franchise and players. Over time, the Bills Mafia became synonymous with dedicated, charitable, and rowdy fandom, known for jumping through tables at tailgates and rallying behind their team in all circumstances. The Bills trademarked the term in 2020, solidifying this place in NFL culture. So that's interesting. I mean, just to know that it's been around. Like you said, I didn't know about the Bills Mafia in 2011. So obviously it was around, but it seems like, I don't want to say bandwagon people. I don't want to say band, but that's what it really turned into.
Yeah.
You know, guys like you, guys like me that's been around that played with the Bills on the early Madden games where everybody looked the same. You know, Bruce Smith was white and Jim Kelly sometimes black. Didn't matter. But see, now you hear Bills Mafia and it's like, I don't know about you, but I just hate that phrase. I don't. To me, I hate the phrase because it depreciates the fandom of Buffalo Bills fans.
You mean Bills Mafia?
Bills Mafia.
Okay.
The coining of the phrase. It depreciates the actual spirit of what we are. You know, and when I hear Bills Mafia, I'm like, what were we before? Were we not diehard fans when they sucked? Were we not when we were mad when Russ Salvatore was buying out games so we could watch the game on TV?
Yeah.
You know, it was blacked out. That was a diehard when you're listening to it on the radio because you can't watch it on TV. You know, I wasn't old enough to get to the game, so I couldn't go. I couldn't contribute. Even my one ticket wasn't going to matter. Right. But you know, it's the fact that now we're talking about, you know, this thing of all these traditions of Bills Mafia and Feed the Pit and all. Remember people calling GR and saying this stuff, and they're like scary. I'm 41 and I'm 6'3", almost 300 pounds. And I get scared. I run in the house and hide because they call and they just keep saying it. I'm like, what's going on? But you know, it took a mind of its own, and now we are what we are. I'm never gonna say I'm part of the Mafia. I'm part of the Bills fans. I'm part of the collective that's been around since as long as I can remember.
Right.
You know, and thinking about the new stadium being built. This is the first time in my life we're gonna get a new stadium. Do I care about it? Not really. But the point stands that it's always been Rich Stadium. It's always been the Ralph. Then it was whatever. Then it was Highmark. Then it was something else. Then it was Highmark, New Era. Then Highmark again. And I'm like, now what? You know, so that's how my beginnings in life of Bills fan is, and that's what I'm going to identify myself with. If you want to be a Mafia fan, those are the ones I kind of have issue with because they're the ones that listen to everything that everybody puts out there, and they don't care about anything about life except what is said to them by higher name people than what we are and what they are.
Right.
So I mean, I think that just hopped in my head when you were talking, and Roy said there was no need for tables back in the mid '80s when we had back-to-back 2-14 seasons. That's not the case anymore. True. And I think that's what A is talking about right there. Yeah.
I mean, so realistically, I mean, I didn't grow up a Warriors fan, but when I saw what they drafted and I saw the success they were having, it interested me to check them out and see, you know, what all the craze is about. And watching them play, I loved their fast-paced game. I loved the shooting. I loved the energy of the team. That's what made me become a Curry fan. Like, you know what I mean? Like I follow Curry. If Curry went to another team, that's who I rock with. So I wouldn't even dare to try and jump on a bandwagon and say, oh, I'm all about the Warriors. No, because if Curry left, I wouldn't watch him anymore. Right. So I think not that Bills fans need to hold other Bills fans accountable that much, you know what I mean? Like, okay, well, who's your favorite player then? Well, if they went to another team, would you still like to be like? We got to quiz them.
Yes,
right. We ain't got to quiz them like that and press them like that. But I think the idea is we've allowed the fan base to grow in such a way that it almost doesn't matter if the team loses in the playoffs, because the ride is so much fun for all these people that love watching a product that looks good on the field. And I'm not gonna lie to anybody. The product looks good on the field. It's exciting to watch. That's how it started anyway. I mean, the run game is, you know, like the big play stuff has kind of gone away a lot. I appreciated more of the, you know, air raid stuff that we were doing because I like the big plays. All that's very exciting to me. But watching Josh Allen, period, is box office television, right? So I don't want to take anything away from that when I say what I'm about to say. I think ideally we just need to get everybody on board with the idea that we don't get too high and we don't get too low in the same way that we were during the drought. If we can operate that way, I think everybody can begin to become much more objective about where the Bills are right now. Because I remember talking to a lot of fans during the drought, and everybody, I would go to games. I went to more games during the drought than I've ever gone to with the Bills being good in the last 9 years.
It's easy. We had no money back then.
And games were cheap to get into.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, sitting with fans and talking to fans and just kind of hanging out with people who they loved the Bills and knew we weren't going anywhere.
Mhm.
But I just love my team, man. I'm here for them. I'm a part of this city. I'm a part of the culture. All of that. Those were the people that I'd be talking to that say, we know we ain't going nowhere, man, but it's the Bills. You know what I'm saying? That's a level of objectivity where fans today, you can't say anything that isn't rah-rah positive about the team, or they will chew you out. I'm living proof of that. Go look at our comments. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you say anything at all that is not praising McDermott or praising Josh or praising Bean, you're negative, you're this, you're that. Right. And that's not me griping. What I'm saying is that's a stark difference from how fans were communicating and relating to each other back in the drought days.
Like, you're a cornball. No,
Right.
no, that's not what it is at all. What it is the fact that I just want to remain the same as I was. Like you said, don't get too high, don't get too low. You know, it's not woe is me, sky is falling when we go into a losing streak. It's not everything is suns and everything is rosy when we win. You know, you have to stay in the middle because, like I said, for me, especially for me, I can't control it, and I hate what I can't control. So cheering for a team is hard to do, and I think for me, the fact that we have heightened expectations is going to be a much higher hurdle for me to clear because I'm used to UB's not being good. I'm used to the Bills not being good, but at least it's a sunny day. At least I get a chance to get out there and watch them. At least I get a chance to go to training camp and watch Alex Van Pelt compete with whoever the third guy was. I get to watch, Kerry Bender with Kenneth Davis and Yanel Jourdain and all those guys. But now those guys don't matter.
Right.
Now it's all about, what Steph Diggs doing, even though he's not on the team. Josh Allen's wedding, but nobody cares about anything else. You know, we don't care about anything else in anybody else's life but the heavy tickets. And that bothers me. James Cook, what's the holdup? There is no holdup. There's no talks. It's over with. They told you that.
Yeah.
It's not over. It's over, but it's not over in terms of what Bean and Cook say. You know, they haven't parted ways. They're not going to trade him anytime soon, and none of that. But the fact of the matter is, it is what it is. We know the writing's on the wall, and I'm fine with that. I've come to grips with that. I've already started looking at running backs that come in and could possibly replace him.
Yeah,
that's something I want to get into a little later. So I'm gonna hold off on the replacement of James Cook. But just know, for Tommy and people like that come in and they know I'm going to talk about James Cook. It's probably going to be a different conversation than what you're used to, because I am going to talk from the lens that James Cook is no longer going to be here in the 26th season.
Okay, that should be interesting because I think everybody is thinking. Everybody is thinking to some degree they're going to get something done this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still think there's hope based on what Brandon Bean has said, but I mean, I think I'm on board with you in terms of it's over. Mm-hmm. I mean, I made the point, probably last month. Like there's a couple of big reasons why A, James Cook is not going to want to stay, and B, the Bills aren't going to want to keep him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So anyway, look. How this relates to Stefon Diggs is this, because this rah-rah mindset that we see a lot of the newer fans or fans that weren't really there through the thick of the drought. I could be wrong. There could be fans that did live out the entirety of the drought that are, rah-rah now. And when I say rah-rah, I just mean like they really don't want to hear anything negative about the team. Like they see themselves as, I'm a positive person. I just want to stay away from negativity. Cool. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm saying is sometimes that can kind of get in the way of progress when it comes to the team being able to see themselves through the fans. And our team very much so identifies itself through the identity of the fans, right? So here's where I'm going with this. There's an article that was on what is this? This is SI. SI.com rather. And the title says Stefon Diggs parties with mysterious substance shows why Bills made the right decision. Now, this is an article by Ralph Ventry from May 28th. So just to give him credit. But again, when I read through this article, first of all, the title damn near enraged me.
I'm over here fighting for my life. I got 2 mouses, 2 keyboards, I'm going nuts over here, but it's cool.
like again, I don't think this particular stance that fans take now with players could have existed during the drought years. During the drought years, we had, you don't like us because we're a small city, you think you're better than us, or you think, you know, we're not worth coming to help out. That's definitely a stance that we could take, and I think that that's kind of a stance sometimes that we can still take, even though we have Josh Allen, even though we're a winning team. I think there are some players that just don't want to come to a small city because there's nothing to do. Some people and players do think that way, right? So that's an identity that I think is authentic and carried over from the drought, and that's kind of where I'm getting to, is the authenticity of today's fan. I don't think the integrity of the authenticity has been carried throughout for every fan that's a fan of the Buffalo Bills right now. And I think the reason, the issue with that is that it can lead to perceptions like this, that Stephon Diggs, the Bills made the right decision to get rid of Stephon Diggs. So here's what I want to prove, and here's where you come in.
Ah, yes.
You are the resident statistician.
Real quick, do we know John O'Malley? Do we know John?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we know John.
John is about to know us. John is about to know us. No, I agree with that statement. It says little of your fan base are just Allen fans. I'm fine with that if that's the case, because I don't think those people are the people looking at guys like Stephon Diggs and saying good riddance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Well, I was gonna say the reason why, John, just so you know, before we go any further and you think we're pointing you out. No, what that means is when you comment.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately,
you made a grave mistake, my man. What you done when you comment on it? Now you are my play cousin, John. Now we are, and you are coming to the cookout. You gotta bring the cups, the ice, the plates, because we are now family, John.
Yeah,
John. You know, you may have been watching in the shadows for a long time, but now you jumped in 2 feet. There's no getting out now.
You may be feeling like super welcome now, but trust me, it's a mistake, because it's chat in, blood out. Like, you can't get out of this family. Nope. There's no way out. Sorry. Unfortunately, we will call upon you when needed.
We will look for you. And you said your fan base is just fans. So who are you a fan of, John? And that's not the like. We're just joking with you. We're not gonna like get on your thing. But who are you a fan of? I'm just curious.
Yep, I did wonder that too. Good question. You gonna see if he says it? Okay. All right. So yeah. So
Spence said they will kidnap your ass if you try to go.
Yo, I will demand the hunting. I'm part of the crew. I'm part of the hunting. This is a producer. You feel me?
I mean, Spence saying it like he wouldn't be at the head of the pack.
He would be the head of the
pack. That's right. Carrying that spear with him.
Oh my god.
So
he was fan. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hey,
no
listen,
doubt.
you definitely one of the people I would like to speak to on a regular basis, because I love what the Eagles have been doing, man. Good for you. Good for you. So again, when it comes to how Bills fans have kind of allowed this, can I call it an arrogant behavior? I think I can call it arrogant, because arrogance in a sense is ignorance to certain levels of understanding within the context of a situation, right? So the arrogance of those fans that are sitting here saying Stephon Diggs, Bills made the right decision. I got some numbers and I got some information that I want to go through just to kind of show everybody and hopefully prove that Stephon Diggs was not as bad as everybody is making him out to be. I mean, realistically, let's just start off with this point right here. Did Stephon Diggs do anything like this while he was with the Bills? The answer to that is no. He wasn't seen on a boat handing anybody any kind of pink substance whatsoever, especially during OTAs. Where was he?
Don't use it all.
He was here during OTAs, right? And I think everybody can agree that everybody on the team always called Steph Diggs a great teammate, right? I forgot who said it on the morning show. I think it was Sal. Sal, he made the mistake of bringing this up. He brought up when Steph Diggs was in the hospital with Damar Hamlin. Everybody praised Stephon Diggs. He's such a great teammate. He was the only one to go to the hospital and blah, 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 blah. Like, outside looking in. Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
There it is. Now, whoever it is, if you do not join the Discord, me and you are gonna fight.
Yeah, but like that to me is it's the heartbreaking part of all this, because for years it was, you know, the Alan Diggs presidential signs everywhere on people's lawns and stuff like that. Like we saw this guy as somebody who is helping our best player become even better. You know what I mean? Like Josh is finally getting the weapon he deserves, and he did. Right? He did. So I just kind of want to go through a few numbers that I found, okay, and just to give you some idea, because one of the things that really annoyed me on Joe DiBiase's show this morning was him saying that late in Stephon Diggs' last season here, his play just kind of fell off a cliff. And aside from game by game production, his stat line for the season was on par with his other seasons. So I'm going to show you right here. All right. So here we go. So in 2020, what is this? What am I looking at? Receiving and rushing. Oh, this is Gabe Davis. That's why. Yeah, not good at all. Let me pull up my page here.
Like, does it say negative? How's it? Oh, my bad, wrong person.
Right. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay, here it is. Okay, so Diggs' first season, we know what that looked like. Amazing numbers. Those were his best numbers the entire time that he was here. Okay, but here's the thing. He went 1,225 yards in 2021, 1,429 in 2022, and then 1,183 in 2023. So he had dips in between two very, very good seasons, right? So in 2020, his first season here, 127 receptions, 1,535 yards, 8 touchdowns. Do you know the other time he had 8 touchdowns? In 2023. Okay? If you look at his success rate, for his best season here, 100 in 2020, I'll just say 2020 to shorten the point. His success rate was 65.1. Okay, his success rate during the other great season where he had over 1,400 yards receiving was 2022. His success rate was 64.3. Okay, he had more yards in 2021 than he did in 2023, but both of those seasons were lower production levels compared to 2020 and 2022.
I think the thing you're missing here, and you're not missing it, but you're missing is the fact that the average depth of target dropped a full yard.
Yeah.
In 22 to 23. So what that reflects is a difference in philosophies. That reflects a difference in, I think that was when Brady took over.
Yes.
Okay, so that tells you right there. Brady went to a more not run centric, but he ran a lot more.
Yeah.
His concepts were a lot closer to the line of scrimmage. So you know, I don't know what people are saying when you're talking about he fell off a cliff, but that's just not so. None of the numbers bear it out. You know, yards at the contact, he lost 0.2 of a yard. He lost 2 full yards before contact, so that means he's working harder to get the ball. His drops went down in 2023 versus 2022. His rating did dip because, let's face it, I mean, he just didn't have the freedom that he did the years previous than he did in 2023, but he was still a vital part in what they were trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for adding that in, because that's where I'm really trying to go. And that's the reason why I have Gabe Davis's stats up here, because Gabe Davis's success rate, the best he had for his entire career here was 53.2. I got an itch in my nose. So his best success rate was his first year here is 53.2. The other time he had a great success rate was 2023, right? And that was his second best yardage production at 746 yards receiving. So it wasn't even like Diggs was a reliable option as a number 2. And I guess that's where I'm getting with all this is there's so much focus on the job that Stephon Diggs did in the postseason and towards the end of his tenure here with the Bills. But I think what everybody's forgetting as far as context is concerned is the change in the offense, as you laid out, the weaponry that existed around him. I mean, you cannot put up 1,500 yards if you don't have other guys around you taking some of the attention away.
Mm-hmm.
He had John Brown and he had Cole Beasley taking a lot of attention away in 2021. So, or 2020 rather. So those are things that are necessary for a number one receiver to put up number one receiver numbers. Unless you're going to give this dude a massive target share. Oh, man. 40 keys with the gift. Thank you, bro.
We trying to get Spin in here.
That's what is that what it is?
Yeah, we're trying to get Spin in here. If he didn't, I'm sorry. I ain't doing no more $2 right now. But
I mean, look, Spin. All you got to do is just click a button, man. I mean, it's $2 a month. Literally $2 a month. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't think YouTube lets you go any lower than that.
It doesn't.
Yeah, that's the lowest you can go on YouTube. So but here's the point. When you're looking at a football player's efficacy on the field, this is the ultimate team sport. Like one player's performance is never solely reliant on just the one player. We even say the same thing about James Cook when people bring up the point about the offensive line and stuff. We know that. Mm-hmm. Fine. But there's other stats that indicate that he's still doing a lot more with less. Right. So we'll let that lay because I don't want to get into that whole debate all over again, until your point later on.
I hope it doesn't turn into a James Cook, but it's going to involve him, but I hope it doesn't turn into that.
Yo, we on fire today. Big Papa Bill. Appreciate you, bro.
You know, see how the gift of giving just keeps snowballing larger and larger.
I love it. Let's keep it going. You got this, John. You got this. So Zoomer says Diggs quit on the team. I can tell you right now, it wasn't Diggs quitting on the team. Okay. Based on everything that I've been told, I'm going to tell you right now, based on everything that I've been told, Diggs's issue was the offensive scheme. And it wasn't even from a standpoint of get me the ball more. He was getting the ball plenty. He had 100 targets a season, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Oh, more than that. Let's see. 2020, he had 166, 2021, 164, 2022, 154, and 2023, 160.
Yep.
He had 100 yards, 100 receptions every year, and he went for 1,000 yards every year. So I don't know how I can subscribe to he quit on the team, especially the year where they had a philosophy change, where they had, you're talking about a year where the coach comes out and says, "I'm worried, I'm concerned."
Exactly.
You have to take all that. Why is he concerned? That was a precursor right there that tells you all you need to know. There's something wrong.
Yep.
And he still goes out there and performs. We're all thinking about revisionist history. What have you done for me lately? The drop. But that's not the whole tale of the season. The season was not the drop. The drop was just the end of his tenure in Buffalo.
Yep.
So we got to keep that in perspective.
Yep. Yeah. And this is the craziest part about all this. How do people miss the lie? Like the fact that Sean McDermott said, "I'm very concerned." Then he backtracks and doubles back and says, "Oh no, we knew he was in the building and we sent him home early."
Yeah.
Like that happened.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Right. And people just overlook the lie. Like Sean McDermott was always in the right and never did anything against Stephon Diggs. Like I'm telling you, I know people close to Diggs and I've heard this from their ears. I've heard this from people who are still connected to the Bills. Like that was the issue. It was Stephon Diggs' issue with the offensive scheme. He felt like the scheme itself had holes in it that would not make it effective enough in the playoffs.
And we see what his numbers did in that season. I mean, his numbers, they dipped, but not to the point where you couldn't use them.
Right.
He was still a good player. Look what he did in Houston the next year. Exactly. He was on pace for 100 receptions as an afterthought, basically.
Yep.
He was about to be 100 receptions as a slot guy.
Easily.
Behind Tank Dell and Nico Collins and what was it, John Mechie was over there as well?
Yep.
I mean, come on now. If you put him in Buffalo right now, I don't care about Josh Palmer. I don't care about Elijah Moore. He'd be the best receiver in Buffalo right now.
Right.
He would.
Right.
It is what it is.
Laura says, "I'm trying to cook dinner and argue with everyone at the same time. Multitasking."
Laura, I got 2 controllers. I have 2 mouses. I don't even know which mouse goes to what monitor at this point. I'm fighting for my damn life.
So here's something that's really interesting for those of you that like new information. There is actually no such thing as multitasking. Did you know that?
Here you go. You would be the one to know that.
No, I enjoy making this point.
I know you do.
Because my wife loves to say, I'm multitasking. Did you know that the term multitasking is in reference to what a computer is able to do, where it runs multiple applications at the same time? right? That's where multitasking came from, and people anthropomorphized it and adopted it, onto themselves as, well, I can do multiple things at the same time.
Right.
In actuality, a computer does not. Alive.
No, you see what Finn said?
What?
35 people in the chat. You can give 35 memberships. I probably still won't win.
Well, that should tell you something, man. That should tell you something.
That tells me we don't. Oh, he got it. He got it. He's in there. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. You better send us your information and get your behind in this Discord chat. Do it now.
Snap, Royce. I won after you just said that. In your face. In your face. The hell has not frozen over. In your face.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. So this idea of multitasking, what actually happens within a computer is it stops and starts multiple tasks. So when it's working on one task, it'll be working on that one task, but it switches so fast that we see it as doing multiple things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So again, people, you are not computers. There's no such thing as multitasking in humans. You have to be able to process one thing at a time. You may be able to do it faster than others, but not at the same time.
I'm a machine.
Unfortunately, that's the science behind it. And that's really I love bringing stuff like that out, because that to me is the foundation of this show.
I laugh at this because I'm thinking about you at home. Your wife says, you know what, the hell with you? Let me look this up. Is it possible?
That's the first thing she would say.
I told you it's not possible.
She would do something like that too. Be like, you know what? You're wrong.
When the locks are changed and he has to come spend the night at the crib, okay, I got you.
D, you got one.
I know.
D, it says you a member right now.
Who's that?
QBs are multitaskers? No. Zoomers. You might be an AI. You might be.
I like this.
Now I get to torment.
Welcome aboard. Welcome.
Right. Yeah, Laura's gonna get a show now.
Yeah, she is. She said, "Yay, Spin." I think she doesn't know what she just signed up for.
Man, yeah, I don't think so either.
I hope you're on vacation, Laura.
Nate says, cutting the grass and listening to y'all count.
Sure. Yes, sir.
I mean,
as long as you listen to us, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Burning dinner. What you making?
Here's how you can test that. Go 60 seconds of cutting the grass and then repeat back the first thing you remember hearing when you started that count. No. I mean, in terms of us, because the cutting the grass is going to be the same, but at some point you got to focus on, I got to turn this and move this way. I got to that might feel secondary, but the brain still has to think about that stuff. It's very interesting. I like psychology stuff. Like that's really my thing.
And somehow you're still my friend. I don't know what that's about.
So all right, but yeah, so back to the Diggs thing. I mean, look, what I'm not trying to do is force feed Stefon Diggs down everybody's throat. Okay.
All right.
I gave you a chance.
Had to make sure. The delegation. No.
You only knew because we stopped. We waited for it.
No, it's the pause.
Fine.
I shouldn't have to wait. You should already know.
No, we waited for you because we're not even handing it to you.
Hold on. Fans, I shouldn't have to wait.
Yes, you should.
They should already know. No.
I like how he takes the camera and he's like, Fans.
Right, I'm taking over the show.
Because I am. No, you not finna do that.
You need to do your job and stop worrying about us doing your job for you. How about that?
Speaking of which, why you said that? Can I just life experience? No, this is life experience today. So I bring Ken home after school, right? This is relevant to this. Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Oh my God. So
what's key?
Drop him off. No, we're in the house, and I run in and I start working again because I got to pick him up from school, get back on the computer. So Ken's like, he said something. I'm like, all right. So how's everything going in school? How was lunch? He's like, good. I said, okay. So you still have snacks at school because I ain't heard nothing about it in a while. Now you got to pay for the snack. You got to pay for the ice cream or whatever it is.
Yeah, you do.
So. Thank you. So
you do.
He does not care about the story at all, but you will when you're a dad. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
Well, you're a son, so that you do halfway count anyway. So
yeah, he's there.
But so anyway, so I'm like, so Ken, all right, so what's good snack? He's like, matter of fact, can I have $1? I'm like, when is the last time you got a snack? He's like, I said, do you get ice cream, Ken? He's like, nah. I'm like, do you have money on your account? And he's like, nope. I'm like, how long have you not had money on your account? He's like, I don't know. It's been a while. I said, Why didn't you say something? Why don't you and mom remember this stuff? This is your responsibility.
Yo.
What?
Yo.
My responsibility to learn to make sure you got money for your snack? No, you can starve, motherfucker.
Hold on, where my godson at? Where my godbrother at?
Come get him. Come get him.
Where
You can starve, motherfucker, because that's crazy.
We gotta have a little chat, bro.
No,
We gotta have a little chat.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you did the same thing when we got here. We pulled up in front of the studio. I was like, yeah, you already know where I'm going. We pulled up in front of the studio. I look at him. I'm like, you got the book bag? He looked down between his legs. He looked in the back seat. He was like, I thought you had it. You was right next to it. Like, what? Yo, you mother. Right. Get in the studio and set up. I gotta run home and grab the bag. Because we keep like some of the equipment that we bring here. But like, I couldn't believe this dude. Like, well, you was right near him.
It was right next to you.
You expect me to be responsible?
It was right
well, how
next
dare
to
you, Dad?
It was right next to you. You walked right past it.
Well, mind you, this came after a morning conversation. We dropped him off. He said, Dad, you think at 9 years old I'll be able to be left at home? Like, no. He's like, why not? I can do it. I'm like, you can't remember anything, Ken.
No.
So guess what? Fast forward after school. You prove my point.
Right.
Your kids, all your friends having a good ass time, have ice cream parties and social. You sitting there like that. And you don't think to come home and say, Dad, I need some money. Okay.
Yep.
I ain't gonna disrail your thing, but yeah, I had to. I had to let the family know what was going on in my life right now.
I love it. So everybody is congratulating Spin. I'm reserving my judgment for this. I gotta see what he does in Discord.
He is loading up.
Yeah, right. All the crazy stuff you've been waiting to get out is gonna come out in Discord.
You can curse. There's no pause moments. It's up to you.
Yo, I tell you what though. Like for all 809 people listening right now, you want to see a show that's probably going to be the best show not live.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the best not live show that we have is watching Spin go at it with us on Discord.
Oh yeah, Nate. He's going to talk to Aaron. He's going to talk the Diggs thing down your throat. Yes, he is.
No, what?
Throat is crazy.
I don't want to come off as being pushy in that way. I do want to encourage people to like really take a second and take a step back from whatever their stance was and just consider the information that we've presented, because at the end of the day, it matters. It really matters. If Jamar Chase didn't have Mike Gesicki and Chase Brown and Zach Moss and Jermaine Burton on the field, taking attention away, and he didn't have Zach Taylor creating an offense that was able to scheme him open, like. There's a lot of things that need to converge all into one point in order for any player to have the level of success that Joe Burrow has, that Jamar Chase has, that Saquon Barkley has. Like it's all a lot of different things coming together at once to create success. And when we as fans talk about Diggs, or when you hear people on radio shows talk about Diggs, it's always singular in a vacuum, Diggs being the issue, or Diggs not doing this, or Diggs' performance tailoring off. We can't look at it like that and think ourselves to be objective or be reasonable for that matter, because it's just not. It's not a reasonable perspective. If that's the only thing you're doing is saying, nope, it was his responsibility alone to get 1,500 yards. That has nothing to do with Josh. That has nothing to do with the offensive coordinator. It has nothing to do with the head coach. Mm-hmm. It's unreasonable. So
and to Spin's point, Diggs dropped the ball. That was an issue. Like I said, that was a drop. Yes, that was on Diggs. Mm-hmm. But what about the rest of it? Does that just negate the whole season that got him to that moment? Or are we gonna ignore everything else that happened? In a down year, he went for 1,183 yards.
I mean, God forbid on the deep pass. And I'm sorry, but like
no, I wasn't. Go ahead.
On the deep pass, God forbid Diggs not perform well on the play that they don't call during the regular season. They don't throw deep passes. They just didn't that season. Everything was within 20 yards. Everything.
Now, the funny thing, don't you find that? I just thought about it. Don't you find it interesting that and this is not me jumping on the Josh Allen soapbox. Don't you find that two of the most pivotal drops in playoffs for the Bills was two deep balls?
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid and what is a deep ball? What is a deep ball?
How is that AO? You gotta explain that.
How is a ball deep?
Just throw the deep ball, man.
You said balls with two S, with an S, just plural. That's crazy. AO.
I mean,
how you say it, man.
Fo gotta act like, deep balls is
Oh my God.
super nasty and
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't either.
So I can't say deep balls?
I guess not.
How about if I say balls deep? That's different.
Fam.
That's very different.
That's a good song too.
Fam.
I'm talking about balls deep.
If I say balls deep, that's different from deep balls.
It is.
It's very different. I'm just saying, context is everything.
About to crash. About to break this set. About to break this set. Stop playing with me.
And the Zoomer said correctly, and that's the thing. And people, it's not Madden, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Josh is not good at deep balls. Yes, Junior, I know. I don't know how to phrase it, but that was what was put in there.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How about deep passes? Use deep passes.
There you go. That's much better.
Okay.
Deep passes.
Aramis got Junior.
Yes, I do, Laura. Yes, I do.
But no, I mean that's the thing. Like it's ironic that it could be pretty much anybody, and we've seen the history of Josh Allen's deep throws. They're not great.
Deep passes.
I said throws.
I'm just making sure you ain't say that the actual thing.
What? Oh, you talking about deep throat? What? You can't be almost pausing somebody and get mad when you brought the idea onto the show.
This man right now. Cancel this man right now.
Never.
No,
That'll never happen.
Wait.
This is gonna be my get on Junie's nerves voice from now on.
There it is. Now I gotta address
Laura,
this.
please help me right now.
Our member stated.
I need to live.
You be all right. Our member stated.
Yo, keep.
Damn.
Just
Now
listen.
they not only are McDermott hater. I'm not a McDermott hater. I'm a Bean hater. I'm not a Bean head. Okay.
Where being
Allen, because we said something negative about Allen.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Finn is waiting for it. But
right.
but no, I mean it's documented. Look it up. This is facts. Allen is not accurate on the deep throws. It's what it is. He has a rocket arm, and it is what it is.
Roy, I don't know who that is, bro, but I don't want to know either. I'm not even.
Yeah, I don't think we should even look at that.
Right.
I can't look at that when Kim's around. I'm afraid. T be like, what you looking at? I don't know. She's at Linda Lovelace. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I'm not doing it. I would not fall for this.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that again. These are all things that add to the context of the perspective on Steph Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
And the question I think we need to ask ourselves after looking at all and this is really not even a lot of information that we could go further than this if we really wanted to, but I think everybody needs to ask themselves now at this juncture of the conversation, why would the Bills allow a perspective like this to go on? Why would they allow it to go on? At some point, this team has gone out of their way to defend their guys. They've gone out of their way to support their guys. They give their guys a contract, even when they don't put up numbers that justify it. And Greg Rousseau, his numbers are not justifying $19 million a season. They're not. His sack totals, no way. He's never had over 10 sacks. Never. Pressure rate, not even the best. Oh, but he's number 2. Okay, well, James Cook is a top 10 running back. You don't want to pay him. Based on the numbers, the analytics, you don't want to pay. Well, James Cook is a running back. Okay, there's pass rushers all over the place nowadays.
Damn a dozen.
All over the place, literally nowadays.
Yeah, I think what that is it attributes to the fact that the Bills don't covet a pass rusher in its truest sense. They covet condensing guys that can hold point and power rush. And so the Bills fans are, and this is not me coming to the Bills fans. So when I say Bills fans, I'm just going to leave it as that, because you might be Bills fan. I am a Bills fan. We're different kind of Bills fans. It is what it is. I'm not more than you. You're not more than me. But when I say Bills fans, you're conditioned to accept a certain player type from this regime. You know, when they were looking at, there you go, Alton. When they're looking at, the draft, James Pierce was never on our radar. Mike Green was never on our radar. But see, the thing is, they tell you that's because they have a checkered past. But I thought we had a culture. I thought we had the leadership council. I thought we were good there. So why can't we bring them in? The glue guys. Why can't we bring them in?
Yep.
Because it's talent that you need to get to the next level. You think Sirianni loves every player he has on his team? You think Andy Reid loves everybody who's on his team? No, but he knows what science is check. And the Bills and Bills fans think Josh Allen signed your check. He doesn't. He helps a lot. He's the majority of what helps sign your check, but he's not ever going to sign your check by himself.
Yeah.
So you're doing a disservice and not try to find the next on the other side, or the next to help him out, or the next that'll pick up the slack that the defense is leaving on the field. And that's when your nail came up, and I started thinking about it. I thought about it, and I said, I don't blame the fans for being fans, but I blame the fans for regurgitating the stuff they hear on podcasts, the stuff they hear on the radio, the stuff they hear that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott say. I blame them for saying the things that they don't understand because that was said previously.
Perpetuating the propaganda.
Right. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it's got to be right because they know more than I do. And see, stop saying that. I said this over and over and over again. If anybody else in this podcast, anybody that listens to this now live and record it, stop saying that somebody's better than you. They know more than you. Do the research.
Who said that?
Everybody on the radio, when they call in GR, they call all the time. I know you know more than me. No, they don't. They just have the resources. They have the research.
Right.
You have the power. You guys are all smart. If you watch the show, if you don't watch the show, I don't care. You're smart.
Yeah.
You can easily do what they do if you had credentials. You can easily do what they do if you got PFF and got Pro Football Reference and got Next Gen. You could easily be as smart as them.
You hear that, Mr. Dilltrail? That was for you. I didn't even tell him to say that, but he said it on his own.
Oh, I didn't even know. But no.
You didn't see the comment?
No.
Not that I'm trying to go at Mr. Dilltrail's neck, but he came in the comments talking about, you guys think but you're really just, you're really just assuming or how reaching. It was something like that.
I don't assume it. Dilltrail, I don't assume anything I've said. And I don't have reason. I don't have any kind of connects. I can tell you right now, everything I tell you, I can show you where I found it. I can show you what the numbers are. I can show you the opposite. I can make an argument for anything I want to, based on numbers. I'm the numbers guy. You don't want to call me out on numbers.
Right. That's
one thing you want to call me out on my football knowledge, not Bills. You probably win. But when you're talking about numbers, you're not going to beat me. And I can show you that. And I stand on everything I research. So if people like that say you're just an armchair, no, I'm not. But guess what? I don't pretend to be a GM. I don't pretend to be a coach. I don't pretend to be a scout. I want to be a scout one day, but I don't pretend to do that. And if it never happens, I don't care because this is good enough. Talking to the people in the comments, talking to people on Twitter, talking to people in the Discord, which is tearing me in half.
Right.
You said, have you seen it? I haven't looked at the comment on YouTube since we started Discord because that thing be.
Yeah.
I mean that I can't go back and when I'm trying to research today, I had to ixnay it so I could do my research.
Yeah.
Because we're getting links, we're getting this, and I'm like, I want to indulge this, but I can't because I don't have time.
Oh, not in the Discord. I mean, like on YouTube.
No. I know, but I'm saying I don't have a chance to look at that because the Discord is taking all of me.
Oh yeah.
I was on Discord last night. I fell asleep. I wasn't feeling the greatest. I fell asleep. I don't know. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I woke back up and Dorothy was on there at 3 o'clock and I started talking to her.
Right.
But when I'm at work, I'm
holding it down overnight, man.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, A will be up about 4, so I probably can hold this down until he gets up. That's how my mind works. I'm like, it's a shift almost, but I enjoy doing it. And I enjoy, the more people talk to each other in the Discord, I don't have to say as much, but I still want to enjoy the conversation that are be had. So that's why all these green names in here right now that I hope that you guys join the Discord and contribute.
Sure.
I don't care if you slander us. I don't care if you slander the Bill. I don't care what you do, but just do it. And don't do it because it's based on something Sal Capaccio said, something that Jeremy White said, something that Joe DiBiase said. And I hope they watch the show because I do enjoy what they say.
Right.
But what their words are is not gospel. And they won't tell you their words are God. They'll say the same thing I said. This is my research and this is what I found. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, shut your mouth. If you can, let's have a conversation.
100%.
Then that's the thing. I don't want to hear from anybody talking about, well, you don't know what I don't care what Sean McDermott is going through. I don't care what Brandon Beane is going through. I don't care what James Cook. I don't care. I can tell you what the numbers are. I can tell you what you're worth based on even what Joe Marino had to say.
Yeah.
4.5%, $12.5 million. Yes, $9 million is not fair. $8 million is not fair. $12.5 million is the number right now.
Yeah.
So just stop. And if you think otherwise, tell me why. Tell me what percentage of snaps he gets based on, what's his cost per snap. Because I can tell you that. I could do that easily, but I'm not going to because folks don't care.
Right.
But that's the thing. Zoomer, no, I don't know more than you. Trust me. I research a hell of a lot. Me and Junie, and Junie don't even know about it. I was going to ask you, and I'll ask you on live. I had some people ask,
Can real quick, before you ask the question, I just want to give a shout out to my man OLI gifting another.
He just shoot them out.
Another.
I feel like I'm preaching right now. That's why he's doing that. I'm like soliciting. But no, Junie, I had people ask, are you going to do a WNBA podcast? And I said, you know what? I know somebody I could do that with.
Yeah.
But next season.
So yeah, I want to definitely speak on just for like a quick second. Okay, Dad?
Sure, go for it.
So yeah, so I already discussed it already on my recent podcast that was that was last week is Sunday, that I will be doing a WNBA podcast, and that's going to be streamed on every Wednesday. And we still got to figure out time. Key, if you want to hop on with that with me, we can do that. We just got to figure out time that you're available to do that with.
So this is going to be on the same show, or are you doing a whole new show around the WNBA?
So we're strictly going to do. I'm still trying to figure that out right now.
That's cool.
That's what I'm saying. No, there's no rush for it because you don't want to jump in right now. We just started with the fantasy thing, Roy, and we're not going to talk about fantasy. This is something different. But
Roy said, I heard a rumor Keys wants to do a UFL podcast.
Do not challenge me. I would do a UB podcast. I would probably do a UFL podcast at some point. Well, I thank you, man. I appreciate you. I really do appreciate that. And I'll put that up because it's a joke, but it's not. I really appreciate people like that. But no, I think if we're gonna do it, we need to come correct and come hard with it. So we need to buckle down how we're gonna disseminate the information we have for that league.
Can I say something real quick too?
Sure, why not?
This is to add to your point too, bro. When you're saying like you're much of a stat person, right? And I am too, and that you have your specialties on what you do and what you speak on when it comes to you.
I'm just good at talking ish.
No, well that too, but you bring some very value information when it comes to like when it comes to some stuff like this. But when it comes to people, talking about numbers this and that, then Key's on the spot because then he has the right information for it. So so for people who think they know everything, if you have the proof to back up your words on everything you say, then cool. But if you don't have the proof, then don't speak something that's not true.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think that's why I end up in a lot of arguments that could have been debates, is people just kind of trying to stand on business of, well, this is my opinion, and you can't argue with my opinion because it's my opinion. That what you're saying is just your opinion. Like, no, it's not. When we're on this show, it is not just opinions. Right. It is theories. It is thought processes. It is perspectives based off factual information, tangible information that we can point to and say, I read this, or based on my connection to the team, or based on my connection to this player, I've heard this, and that causes me to think this. When you listen to one of the shows that I grew up on ESPN was Around the Horn, and they got points for the points that they made. Like if they were talking about a particular subject and they could point to factual information that happened or an article or something like that they would get points per factual piece of evidence that they could recite or point to back up what they were saying. And that's what I grew up watching. Those were the shows that I didn't watch, Skip and Shannon. I didn't watch, you know what I'm saying? Like the debate show where you're just strictly talking, your opinion, and you're debating with somebody else, and you got a few, pieces of statistics here and there. Yeah. No, like you had to be able to fully support what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? So if I have a theory, I will flatly say on the show, this is just my theory, right? But if I'm talking about anything else, it's either based on something I've heard or based on information that I'm presenting to you to show you why I think what I think. So that's the energy we come with. Hopefully, everybody sees that and just kind of matches that energy.
Yeah, of course.
But Steve, what's going on, my man? He says, if the Bills are not going to pay a number one wide receiver, they should have the money to pay Cook if they believe he is a difference maker. So I want to take it back to a comment by Big Papa Bill really quick. Oh, shoot.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Where is okay? So this is one of the things I wanted to get to like a while ago, because this is another mindset that I think comes from Bills speak, I guess, like, Brandon Beane speak and Sean McDermott speak. Not saying that you don't have your own mind, Big Papa, but he says Greg Rousseau is barely 25. He can still transform into the Groot we need. So I'm not poo-pooing your point at all, but I do want to present a question for everybody in the chat. Which do we prefer? Do we prefer the immediate success that we saw with Josh Allen, where there's like, there's clearly a level that he can get to where he will be dominant in the league, and it really only took him 2 seasons to really get to that place where he was a franchise QB, right? Would you rather have that, or would you? So I guess the two sides of the spectrum are Josh Allen and Kyle Williams. And I hate putting Kyle Williams on this kind of a spectrum within this kind of conversation, because I love Kyle Williams. But Kyle Williams didn't become Kyle Williams until later in his career. He was here for 5-6 seasons before he became a playmaking Pro Bowl level player, right? And for me, for my money, I don't want to have to let Greg Rousseau take that much time and that much money to become Kyle Williams.
See, yeah, this is my opposition to what Papa said. And I think Papa is more defensive, and that's fine, but I don't think you need to be. He said Rousseau is barely 25. He can still transform into the group we need. I think he is the group we need. The problem is not Groot. Groot is fine. The money he got, but what the problem is Von Miller, 15.4 mil.
There you go.
Trey White, 4.1 mil. And that's dead cap, not to re-sign. So now you're talking about more. What was it? What did he sign for? $6 million, something like that here?
Yeah. So
you're talking about $4 million. So he's basically $10 million for us this year.
Yep.
Rasul Douglas, 4.1 mil. Kyer Elam, 1.7 mil. Austin Johnson, 1.2 mil. Dwayne Smoot, 1 mil. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 900,000. This is why the group conversation keeps coming up, because we made those contracts happen and we pushed money down the road, and now we don't have the money to spend. So the Groot's contract, it magnifies. Now James Cook wanting $15 million, it magnifies. Now you're talking about, what Kyer and Christian Benford and Terrell Bernard and Rousseau. It magnifies because we don't have the money to spend, but it's not because of them. It's because of the moves that we made before that. Everybody says, why? What's the problem? Von's not a problem. He's gone. He is a problem because he's not going off the contract. He's still on the team, even though he's not on the team. And that's what people don't understand. When you cut somebody, they're still there.
Yeah. And
$15 million for a guy. And this is why when people say, well, I'm glad we got rid of him. I would have rather kept him because he still counts 15 mil against us.
That's right.
So, and now Bosa's hurt. So everybody, well, what do you think about Von? Okay, so now that's what? $20 million against the cap tap?
Yo, like people are really saying that?
Yes.
Now? Yo, I was just telling somebody when I was driving, I was working yesterday, and I just told somebody yesterday, watch somebody come out and say we should bring Von Miller back.
Yep.
We already paying him, so we can do the same thing like we did with Trey White and just pay him a little bit less. He's still getting dead cap money, and he'll come back and be a stand-in. Like, how many more stand-ins do we need? You got friggin' Mike Hoyt on suspension. We need somebody in there for when he comes back.
Right.
We got to have somebody hold the place for when Bosa comes back. And then what if Von Miller gets hurt?
Right.
Like these guys are not guys that you want to depend on for what you need them for. The signing of Bosa in general. Like, who said this? I can't remember who said this. If I remember, I'll give them credit later. But somebody said that there was a lot of interest. It might have been Chris Sims. There was a lot of interest in Joey Bosa when he became a free agent. A lot of interest because of the name and the pedigree and all that kind of stuff. And the Bills, he said the Bills came in at the last minute and beat everybody, right? So this idea that the Bills were kind of waiting to see what the value for Bosa was going to be and then pulled the trigger on this guy because he had a lot of value and all that, like, to me, that's not a win. That's not a win. Yeah. What the wins are getting a guy that is towards the end of his prime, still got a little bit left in the tank, and getting him for a much friendlier deal than 1 year, $15 million. Like, I get what his market value was, but you can justify with the injuries and the history and all that kind of stuff, not giving him $15 million and saying, look, you got a chance to come to a contender, we'll give you 8. Right? If it works out this season, we'll give you the bag next year. If you can stay healthy. If you don't miss certain number of games, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of incentives built into Bosa's contract too, sacks and all kind of stuff, right? So again, the idea is you look at what the Bills have done in terms of these, because they talked about splash plays this morning too on the radio show, right? That was another one that got on my absolute nerves.
And me too.
Like the idea of splash moves for the Bills. I forgot who was it that said in the chat that they were talking about.
While you think about it, I just want to address Nate. Did any money come out the books for the Bills today post June 1 stuff? No, we're still dead last in salary in available salary cap space. Everything that comes off is actually factored in already. So you just can't use it until June 1st, but it already shows. So no, we don't have any extra relief from that.
Oh man, Albert, why? First and foremost, Albert, you're in the chat.
He's talked to us already.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, okay. Right. He know the score. That's my guy.
Well, I mean, okay.
That's my guy.
This is what forgive me. Maybe he didn't comment that much. But he says, okay, guys, these titles are getting too negative. At the end of the day, we got the best quarterback in the third easiest schedule with no international games or hard back-to-back games, and our division still sucks. You mean that? You say that to say what?
And I can tell you, the titles are negative because we want people to hate us when they come in, and then they hear my rants about how much of a fan I am. So that's what it is. It's rage bait. So when you come in like, I hate these guys. Wait, that guy in the red hat, he said something earlier. That guy in the black hat, he said something I agree with. It resonates with me, and that's the whole point of it. No, don't. For you, don't worry about it. Just come along with us and visit us on Mondays and Fridays. Everybody else is brand new. You're here because you want to be mad at us, and you might not be mad at this point in time. But Albert, trust me, we got you.
So I want to point something out that I think needs to be clarified here. That I said to Mr. Dill Trill in the comments on YouTube, and all of you are welcome to go take a look at that conversation. I need everybody to get away from this idea of positive and negative. Because positive and negative, the idea of positive and negative is very binary. It doesn't allow for the gray that exists in real life. And what we're about here on this show is all the positive and the negative and the gray. We talk about it all so that it all can be considered and thought about, and then you reach your decision. If at the end of everything we say you still believe in what you believe in with no changes whatsoever, then more power to you. You've taken the time to hear the other side. You still feel how you feel. Cool. Our goal on this show is not to change people's minds.
No,
it's really not. Our job that we take on ourselves is to just have very thoughtful discussions about things that we think or that we see and point those things out. And if there's information that somebody else points out, that we've had plenty of times on this show where somebody's pointed something out and I'd be like, oh, okay.
I like that.
Right.
I like that.
I've had my mind changed on this show. Laura will tell you I've had my mind changed before.
I changed my mind of James Cook a little bit.
Thank
God.
Again, we have to get, thank you, Scott. We have to get away from this mindset of positive and negative, because you don't allow for the gray. You don't allow for context when you just think positive and negative. Just because somebody doesn't say something you feel to be positive about a subject doesn't mean they're necessarily being negative. They could just have a different perspective on something. It's the same thing as thinking that a glass is half full or half empty, right? Those are two very binary perspectives. What if the glass just has water in it? And I just turned the water on, and wherever it fell is where it fell. Oh, well, based on the size of the glass, it's mostly full. Well, okay. Like, why is that such a big deal?
Like, is that E and J? It doesn't matter then.
Right. Because I'm like, there's a bunch of different scientific things you can consider: the density of the water, the type of water, the like, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you start really breaking that thing open away from the black and white, there's so much to consider when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I think that Nathan, Steve, Laura, they really hit it out of the park. You know, they don't always agree, but sometimes they do. That's the point. See, the point is, I'm not going to tell you I'm right, and that's why. Don't come in with that foolishness. Don't give me that rigmarole BS. I am right. You better bow down because I am the all-knowing sage. No, I want to hear what you have to say to, rebuttal me. But that's why I get so mad when people say, because it is. Or the yo mama. I call this a yo mama. Yo mama is I
said that on this show before.
No. Not your mama, but the reason why I say your mama is this. I call this your mama. No, your mama is this. Well, who is it then? Who would you get to replace them?
Yes, bro. Yes.
That's your mama, because there's no comeback. I don't need to tell you who I would get to replace her. I would tell you I have a problem here and I want to fix it. Now, maybe you want to help me fix it.
Right.
Maybe you'll say there's somebody in college I don't know about that. That's an up-and-coming guy. Maybe Lance Leipold is that guy. Maybe somebody that's a third-string water boy over here is that guy. Right. Tell me. This is why we do this show live. You know what I like about this, and I notice a lot of times people don't do their show live. Locked On Bills is not live.
Yeah, you can't argue with them.
You can't argue with them. You have to sit there and listen to them.
Yep.
We do this live and read the comments in this thing. How many super chats do we get a day? Not many.
Right.
And how many of these things do we read?
A lot.
There's a reason for that. Because your voice is to be heard on this show.
Right.
And it's by design. It's by design. You don't have to agree. Don't say, Keyshawn, your mom. You better not say nothing, my mama. She watching. You better not. Watch your mouth.
And she won't say nothing either.
But I'm going to get a text later. So she watching, don't you do it. But
Mama Dude's going to see you.
I will get an earful on the car ride home.
Yeah, you would.
But the thing is this. No, she ain't playing. But the thing is, seriously, guys, we do this live for a very specific reason. Not only because it's easier to get it out to you faster, but because we can read what you say. We don't have a chance to prepare for what you're going to ask. We don't have a chance to really structure the show the way we want to, because I have stuff on my thing. A text me, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. You want to? We already an hour and 14 minutes in. We could go over 8 o'clock if we really wanted to, and we haven't really touched but two topics, maybe.
We started the James Cook thing, but we
didn't even get to it. But that's what makes the show beautiful.
Yeah,
we get on here and we can go. And you guys are part of the show, no smaller than we are, and that's why when people say you know more than I do. No, I don't. I'm just here with a mic.
Let's learn together.
And that's where you guys really, you guys spill all the dirt on the keys. Hey, wait. You think I ain't got 40 keys? Look at him. Look at him.
Keys. That's really why we call them 40 keys.
40 keys.
But yeah, I mean, like, honestly, this show is to elicit our viewers, our recipients to speak amongst themselves, to take something home, to look at things a little differently and say, you know what? I don't like what Keith said. He's wrong, but I don't know why yet. Let me go home and figure it out, and I'll be back next week. I'll be here for it. Trust me. I want it. No.
Okay, here we go. So Albert, I need you to answer this question, and I need you to answer it in the chat. Did you hear everything I said at the beginning of the show when I talked about why the title was the title? Because I clarified. I went into detail to make sure everybody understood that it wasn't just taking a negative perspective on anything regarding the team. There was a basis behind it, and there was a relative understanding that I tried to bring everybody to, so that they didn't see it as, oh, he's just being negative, right? I mean, realistically, the idea of positive and negative, I like to think about it more like this. You either accept something or you don't accept something, because a lot can go into what we accept in life, right? We accept that there are certain things that in people that we can't change. you either accept it or you don't accept it, right? If you don't accept it, what do? You leave those people alone, right? If you do accept it, then you put up with the stuff you don't like, right? So that takes into context a lot of different things. It isn't just whether or not the person is positive or negative. It has a lot to do with their habits. It has a lot to do with their demeanor. It has a lot to do with, things that they allow in their lives.
He said he didn't see that. No, so
okay,
Albert,
that's
honestly,
why.
honestly, and the thing, and this is something I really wanted to say in regards to that, because I didn't know where the conversation was going to go, and the reason, like I said, the reason why I'm most mad at Bills fans is because of what I said earlier, but most of it is really the fact I truly believe this is the best fan base in the NFL. I really do. I mean, we've supported the bickering Bills. We've supported the lovable losers.
Yep.
Now we've supported this team that can't get over the hump. But guess what? Our fans do one thing and one thing well. We take over other people's stadiums. We bring our own tables.
Yeah.
We drink the nasty ass beer they serve because it ain't Labatt. It ain't Labatt. It's probably like Bush. You know what? I shouldn't say that because Pat Moran went on this epic rant about how he hates tops. And
why?
Roy probably knows the story, but it was on Twitter. Oh, he was going ballistic because evidently he was looking for a certain Bush Light, apple flavor, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he called. They said they had it. He drove 40 minutes to get to this tops. He gets there and they don't have it. So now he's mad. He's like slandering Tops on X for 2 days, 2 full days of just I hate Tops. He gave the address. He dropped the Addy. He was pissed. And I'm like, yo, it's just go. I guess because they don't have Apple Bush Light and I wish he watched the show because I know he would laugh. But the thing is, we eat, sleep, and breathe Bills football. And Albert, we really do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what caused us to do it. I don't know if you know this or not, but look how many subs we got. And then look at YouTube rules for how you get paid.
Yeah.
I'll show you my wallet. It ain't got no YouTube money in it.
Nah. They take 30% of anything that we get in.
30% of anything, and they don't pay us any commission for doing this show. This is not monetized. Right. So Roy said it was funny as shite. Yes, it was. I know Roy watched the show. It was hilarious. But the thing is, we do this on our own time, running on fumes sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we want to interface with you guys. We want to give you something different. People say, I'm tired of Locked On. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Sal Capaccio. So we're giving you something different. You can bring, because trust me, I watched all that myself. I watch it all. And I agree with something. I actually told somebody earlier that I agreed with something that, I'd rather go with property. Dang,
Laura.
And I think Wegman's actually cheaper than Tops these days, too. That's the sad fact about it.
Really?
Yeah, I think Wegman's actually,
wow.
But
we circumvented the whole system.
Yeah,
we go to Aldi's.
We used to do that.
We broke it up into multiple stores.
Wegman,
Trader Joe's, Aldi's,
Walmart,
Target.
You go to Walmart?
Yeah, we do go to Walmart for certain things. Yeah, the joint all the way up Niagara Falls and Wheatfield. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's you got to know. I mean, I go to Tops for your Italian sausage because they give you the big packet.
Okay.
So
how are those?
Good. Oh yeah. I like. Oh yeah.
Okay. Nobody else in the house but me does Italian sausage.
Really?
Yeah.
Grilled. Oh, I grill those every time I go to the grill.
I do.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Come on now.
All next time I raised you right. Next
time I do, I'll buy an extra pack and bring y'all some.
Appreciate that.
You got it.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yo, Trader Joe's is like that, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I really like at Trader Joe's? They got these dark chocolate peanut butter cups, bro.
Really?
They got like 6 grams of sugar or something like that, like not a lot of sugar because it's dark chocolate,
right?
But it is amazing, bro. Go check that out if y'all haven't done so already. Go check those out.
Yeah, and that's real. And we and this thing, I try to stay on the Bills, but I'm all over the place. If you let me talk in here, you'll see in the Discord, I talk about any and everything and don't care. So if it's too Bill centric for you guys, let us know. I can go elsewhere. If I drive off the beaten path and you're like, get back to the Bills, you can tell me that too. I might not see you. I'm gonna act like I don't see it at all. But Super Duper and Bell. Super Duper, I have a funny story. Super Duper actually
Super Duper in forever.
You won't, because I probably put them out of business. When I was a kid, mom knows the story, obviously, because she was there. The produce scales?
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Because what I did was I put some carrots in there when I was about 5, maybe 6. Put some carrots in there. I was like, it's not heavy enough. Put my hand in there, the cord snapped. The hook split me up. So I'm like, oh snap, I broke it. So I go hide under the cart. My mom smacks me. I look up, I look like Carrie. It's blood everywhere on the floor and everywhere. I had to get stitches on my So
Wow.
After that, I don't think Super Duper was too much longer.
Wow.
Mom Dukes cleaned them out, boy.
We didn't sue, but they knew they were probably waiting like, yo, chapter 11 or 13, whatever, get out of here.
Oh, Zoomers had enough of our real life talk.
Okay,
Well, that's
Zoomer.
too bad.
Zoomer, okay. For you, because you're green, I got you.
Right. You can't if you gonna come at us, at least be subscribed.
You got now you're welcome. Your wish is my command, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
but yeah, no. What were we talking about? We were talking
let's
about.
get on to James Cook because you said you had some stuff on that you wanted to
Okay, so it was an offshoot. It really wasn't James Cook, but it was an offshoot of Dorothy. We were talking about this earlier. She's a green member who's gearing up for me later, I'm sure. It was in regards to Dan Mitchell's show this morning, where he stated that this was the year that Ray Davis is gonna have a breakout season.
What?
Ray Davis is gonna have a breakout season, he said. Now,
what is he basing that on?
I have no idea. So you know me being me.
Wait. Did you see the question I asked? Yeah. I didn't say, oh, he's being super positive. I don't like. Okay, let me understand. What is he basing that on? But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I wrote, okay, so he basically said that I'm going to read the quotes that I got from there. Okay, so he said he won't. No, I said that. Dan Mitchell doesn't think that Cook can thrive in an offense against heavy boxes. He thinks defenses will start to stack the box more in 2025 because they didn't last year, and Ray Davis is going to get more short yardage and goal line carries than he did before. He attributes this to the size of Ray Davis, 5'8", 220 pounds. So what I did, and you know me, what I had to do is I had to go look at next gen stats and see what exactly are we looking at. You know, I said, all right, something's got to give. And if you're thinking Cook is not going to be here next year, like I said earlier, that's fine. Not to the comment that was up there. You just put that up at the worst time for me to say that's fine. Zoomer, I didn't mean that to you. but no, basically what I looked up and I through my research, I saw, as we thought, well, as people like me know, Cook is the alpha. He's the one that in every metric, he's the one that's better, except for receiving. And it's not drops, it's not catch percentage, none of that stuff. Because he's still number 2 in the catch percentage behind Ty Johnson. But by the numbers, Ty Johnson is the heir apparent to James Cook. Ty Johnson is the better short yardage back. He's a better receiving back. Ty Johnson is faster than Ray Davis. Ty Johnson, if I looked at the numbers here and what I have, without even going into it, Ray Davis actually, according to Next Gen Stats, left yards on the table. He was the worst in our expected yards over our yards over expectation. He was the worst out of the 3. He had a negative 0.41 EPA per carry. So basically, expected points added by his carries was actually negative. He was the only one out of the 3. Against stack boxes, and I was against light boxes. Against stack boxes, he had the lowest rushing yards over expected of the 3. And that's against stack boxes. So everybody expected him to be that guy in a stack box role. No, it's still James Cook. He was second on EPA per carry behind James Cook against stack boxes. After looking at the stats, like I said, I would also say Ty Johnson was a better lead back. Should James not be here? Truth of the matter, the future running back is not on our team. If it's past number 4, if 4's not here, we got to go back to the well. Ty Johnson is fine, as somebody said here. I'm not sure who it was, but they said that they complement each other well, which is 100% correct. They do complement each other well. But you know, it in Brady's offense, he requires a playmaker at running back. Now, if if Ray Davis was here for Dayball, or even maybe Dayball in the pass heavy offense, he would have been fine in the Devin Singletary role, because I think he's a better running back than Devin Singletary. Tommy, no slight to your guy, but I think that he would prove to be a better fit for what Singletary did. Now, I think if you're not going to sign Cook to that contract, I think Brady definitely wants him to that contract. I think he definitely just wants him. Just make it happen is what he's saying. But as we see, what he says doesn't matter. He doesn't get the players he wants. He doesn't get what he needs. He just gets to work with what he has.
Right.
And that's why somebody who called in said something to the effect of Brady and Babbage will not be here next year. I think Babbage will be here next year, but I think Brady, if he's given the autonomy to at least run his own offensive scheme, he's going to probably look at greener pastures. I say Cook wouldn't be without Davis and Johnson. He'll be injured. I don't think so. He can't carry our offense by himself. I don't think so. Because they don't ask any of our running backs to carry a load of any sort. They're all kind of the running back that has to do the most with the opportunities they're given. They're not going to be given a volume or a bulk of a load share. So when you look at what we do, I can pull it up for you real fast if allowed.
No.
I know.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed at all.
Right. What if somebody said, can I just pull this up? No.
I'm like, well,
you have
dang.
to keep talking whether you want to or not.
I'm like, well, dang then.
I have nothing to say.
If you're looking at where do we want to go here with this in regards
to answer this question real quick, OLI says, y'all think Brady is a head coach? Just asking, not yet.
No, I don't think he is, but I think he might actually get a chance to try. Just because of what he's done with Josh Allen and what he's done with the less than talent at wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I think if you're really going to get into a debate about running backs and what the Bills running backs have done, it's really not close. And if you don't like James Cook, it doesn't matter because Ray Davis is not gonna be better as a lead back. Ty Johnson is not a lead back, so you have to get a third guy in here again anyway. And the worst part about this is when James Cook's going, what year is that for Ray Davis? That's his third year. What did James Cook get? They're not going to pay the guy. So if Ray Davis has a good year in 3 and 4, guess what? We're talking about this again.
Yep.
We're going through this all over again. So whether you like Cook, whether you like Davis, whether you like any of these guys, you're not getting either. Because if they have a good year, they're not out of here. And nobody said they're any of those guys. That's what I'm saying. That has nothing to do with the point that's being made. The point that's being made is Ray Davis is not that guy. It's not dime a dozen. Cook may not be Derrick Henry, may not be Josh Jacobs, may not be Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley, but you name the top 4 guys in the league. We said he's top 9. And what's been said before, I don't care about why are we talking about value to other teams? And I'm sorry, we're going to do this again, but whatever.
I might as well.
We're talking about the value to other team. We're talking about to this team. What is the value to this team?
Yeah. So to this point, Papa, I mean, Cook, he says Cook isn't Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, or Saquon Barkley, where we rely on Cook to be explosive like them. He's too tiny. I mean, he's Aaron Jones's size. They're just about the same size. I
don't know if it's the weight that makes him look smaller, if it's the crosses on his eyes that make him little. I don't know. It's just that he's fast. I don't know. Is it because our offensive line is all 6'9" and bigger? I mean, what? Come on now. I mean, you got to be relative. Our quarterback is 6'5".
Yeah.
Our average height for offensive line, I'm sure, is probably top 3 in the league. Average size is probably top 3 in the league. Right. Your left tackle was 6'4". Your right tackle was 6'8". Your right guard is 360 pounds. Your center is what? 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
Where do you do that at? Where do you do that at? Right. You don't have guys that big that's across the board. Where you, in comparison, I remember watching. Who was it? It was at UB. It was.
Oh, I love this point. Point. We shouldn't care if he's not those guys. They're not available anyway. So what does it matter?
I don't know what it matters.
That's a great point. And we're sitting here talking about James Cook on our team.
I like this point too, just for no reason.
It's gonna be a break, for real, Nate, for real. yo, oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, so you know what I'm thinking about, right?
No, I just read something. Go ahead.
The Madden stuff we doing. Y'all gotta see Frank Gore Jr. on this Madden, boy. Y'all gotta see this kid. But yeah. So Alton says, and you think Davis is like Henry and Jacobs? Look, to me, this is what says it all about the James Cook conversation. People talk all this stuff about his catching ability and how the Bills don't use him in the passing game. And they refer to 2 years ago when he was running corner routes and couldn't bring the ball down. Do you understand how difficult corner routes are to bring down in general? Like and I get it. He's in the NFL. He needs to be able to make the play. Some of those passes touched his hands, and in the NFL they say if it touches your hands, you got to catch it across the board. No excuses, right? But here's the thing: Ty Johnson's routes are very different from the routes that they were asking James Cook to run.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at if you really run the numbers. James Cook's all his catches were behind the line of scrimmage or inside the 5.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson, his catches were the deep passes. He's the one that ran the deep routes. So
he's outrunning linebackers that can't cover.
Right.
So this idea of, Ty Johnson being this great third down back, James Cook is just as fast. Just about. I mean, Ty Johnson's a little faster. It's 40 times. Yeah.
James Cook ran a 4.42. Okay.
Right. So again, this is what we're talking about. Like, I think people would say Aaron Jones is a good running back in the league. He's a starter. He's a bell cow back. He has been for the Packers, right? And I don't think anybody would debate that. James Cook is faster. James Cook is about the same size. And recently, James Cook has produced more on the field than Aaron Jones has in the last couple of years. So the idea that James Cook has to be compared to the top 3, we're not even talking about paying him like the top running back in the league, because the top running back in the league realistically is making $19 million a year, right? So we got to get away from this mindset of, well, he shouldn't get top money. 15 is not top money anymore.
Not at all. Next
year, it'll be regular money.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to ask for 15 million, like again, relative to the team is where we have to stand. And unfortunately, I think where this all falls at the end of any conversation on James Cook is the Bills don't value the running back position like they should. If they have, and not even that they need to change and have the opposite stance of trying to find a bell cow back, but have your values. If something comes along that is of a greater benefit to you that you can take advantage of, so what if you don't believe in having a bell cow back? You found one.
Mm-hmm.
So capitalize off of that. I mean, that's the very nature of the country. It's the foundation of the country is capitalism. Capitalize on having a guy like that. Don't stand in your laurels and run the risk of never finding another guy like that. Like, think about it like this. They had to trade for LaShawn McCoy. Before that, who were our running backs? Like the year before. Exactly. The year before we traded for LaShawn McCoy, who are our running backs?
There's a reason why we traded for him. Yeah.
Right? So again, after Shady, what happens after you let Shady go? You got Devin Singletary.
I like this. Right. I like this point that OLI said they can have their stance if they have a great running back scout team. Yeah. I mean, we're not married to James Cook, but the point is everybody like it's a dime a dozen, but this is not
replacing. Ray Davis is our Aaron Jones. Keep going. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm about to have a spin moment in a second here.
Yeah, no, we know. I know it's Fred. And but the point is the dynamic name. We'll say Fred Jackson to Buffalo was a Buffalo legend.
Yes,
he didn't have that name recognition across the league. You say James Cook in any circle in the NFL right now. Oh, I know that dude. That's that dude from Buffalo. He a bad boy. He an up and comer. I've seen it. It's not me making this up. I've heard people say this about James Cook. It's on Twitter. James, he's an up and comer.
Yeah.
Rich Eisen. What's the guy? Pat McAfee. He's an up and comer. They know who he is. We wouldn't be having this standoff, and nobody would give a damn about the standoff if it wasn't for somebody with that name. So I think the biggest thing with regards to this is that if you look at what James Cook has done and what he's been asked to do, are you telling me that he can't do more? I mean, because I even looked at this. Right. I looked at the splits because I wanted to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. They were like, James Cook doesn't play on third down. He does. He don't play on third down much less than anybody else. Because if you look at third down splits, just let me pull this up. For third down splits. Let's see.
While you pull it real quick, I just want to comment on this comment here from Alton. He says Fred Jackson was overrated and only had 1,000-yard rushing season.
Roy, I didn't say it. Look, I didn't say it.
This is the reason this comment is perfect is
right.
because we all collectively as a fan base, I remember this. We all like rallied for Fred to get paid when he was looking to get paid, and he was politicking for it and all that kind of stuff, and making his comments in interviews and everything. Like, we pushed for this dude to, you go pay Fred Jackson after everything he's done for this team and all that he's given and everything that he's done on the field and all that kind of stuff. But like, pay Fred Jackson. Yeah. Right. And they did, but it wasn't the big deal, like Fred deserved. You know what I'm saying? But we pushed for it because Fred gave us everything he had, and we saw it, and we believed in it. Right. Can anybody say that James Cook hasn't done the same exact thing in terms of what he's given on the field? He's had better production than Fred Jackson has had in any particular season, and we don't want to pay that guy now?
Yeah, and I think the thing about the misnomer with regards to third down, James Cook played 9 snaps on third down. Ty Johnson, 19. Ray Davis, 10. So, I mean, come on now. What's the big disparity? What is the big disparity here? I mean, you're talking about, this is what I'm saying earlier when everybody says this is that. Where'd you get the information from?
Exactly.
Where's the information coming from? The information comes from Sal Capaccio, Joe Marino, from Shout Buffalo. I watch all these guys, so I know where you're getting it from. I hear it just like you, but I'm like, that can't be right. See, what I do is I'm like, you know what? I like that. Thanks for giving me that idea. Let me go research it for myself. That's how I do it. I'm not that creative to sit here and think of all these weird scenarios where I can get all these stats from. No. But when I hear it, I'm like, let me fact check that.
Right.
Let me just make sure. And this is not about James Cook. In this instance, it's just about, let's be real. Let's talk. And I want to talk about this as if he's not here, as if he's gone.
Yeah.
Because now we're saying, oh, Ray Davis can be that guy. Oh, like I said, I just proved out. Context is keys. I should get a t-shirt. That's good. But no, I think the important thing is saying we're not good without that dynamic. Whatever it is, we're not good without the rookie next year that's going to be him. But why do you want to get somebody like him when you already had him and you could just pay him somewhere in the middle? Is he 15 mil? No. But the numbers spell out he's worth 12.5. You don't want the 12.5? Okay. All right, we tried. Yeah. But when I hear 7 million, 8 million, no, it's not. I'm not even answering the phone for that. It's gonna be a Nashville number again on draft day, right? Who's this? I'm gonna reject that. I don't know who that is. Right. Because 9 million.
Yeah.
Let me. Just, I'm not gonna do it. But I'm gonna show you the cesspool of people making 9 million. Let me show it to you. And that's what James Cook will say. Which one of these guys is better than me? Which one is better than me? Show me. How? I hit the hole better than anybody out there. And it's proven. But you want to pay me 9 million?
I'll just let you go. Just go ahead and make your point. Go ahead.
Oh, nah.
Go ahead and make your point.
Here we go. But the thing is,
I'll give you a pass.
Thank you. Like he said, he's got back-to-back 1,000 yards, and bro, he barely got it. How many carries did he have? How many carries did it take to get him 1,000 yards? Your guy is Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
So you want somebody that's going to get you the. That's a lot of pauses.
I know, Rich. What you doing, bro?
Jesus, Mary Jojo, lay off the button. But anyway, no,
I said I gave him a pass. So
not you. I got 3 pauses in.
I know. I gave him a pass. So lay off of him.
Thank you, Sinking.
But yeah, no, I'm sitting here thinking, when you're talking about he's not carrying the ball 300 times, he's not carrying the ball 275, whatever. Why do you need him to? Do you need 1,000 yards? You need 16 touchdowns? He's not going to get you 16 touchdowns again because teams know about it.
Exactly.
But I bet you now that when teams got to look at him, they're like, Josh Allen's like, oh, play action.
Yep.
That play action is wide open now because what James Cook did last year. That stat box is going to be stacked because James Cook it's James Cook. Nah, pulling the big boys. We got to get in there. Right. And that's where your wide receivers pay dividends. That's where Elijah Moore eats. But guess what? It ain't going to be James Cook. It's Josh Allen. Ain't gonna be nothing to do with James. It's got nothing to do with Dalton Kincaid, a name for that, or Dawson Knox. It ain't got nothing. It's Josh Allen. And this is the thing I want to get rid of. I want to get away from that. Is it Josh Allen that's throwing the ball? Yes. Is it Josh Allen that's stop pausing? Thank you. Is it Josh Allen that's putting butts in seats? Yes. Is it Josh Allen that's selling jerseys? Yes. Is it Josh Allen that leads the team? Yes. But is it only him that's doing it? No. It's not. It can't be.
Right.
And you can't prove it. I don't care about his salary. I don't care about his EPA. It's all dependent on, because let's look at his EPA. What's his EPA on runs? Because that's what we need to know.
Okay.
Now he's a quarterback, so he has to throw. So if nobody out there can catch the ball, what's his EPA? Exactly. So is it all on Josh Allen to get us to the promised land? No. He's the catalyst. He's the guy that rallies the guys. He's the guy that says, you know what? This is what we need to do. You're going to you. We're going to there. You know, or I need to read. And that's why he's special.
Yeah.
But he can't do it alone. So we need to get that out of our heads. Right. It's not just him. You can be a fan. You cannot prove it. You can't. You can't not prove it. And the thing is, the thing I'm trying to get at is, you can be a fan of whoever you want to be a fan of. You can love Josh. You can have what them things. Remember the little wrestling things back in the 80s that those little pillows, those like Ultimate Warrior things.
Yeah.
You can have one of those of Josh Allen. You can have one of those of your best player. You can sleep with his jersey. You can hold his picture at night and let it keep you company. But in the end of the day, there's more than just him. And while we keep taking away his weapons, he's not going to speak up and say, "Yo, I don't have any weapons." Somebody's got to, and somebody's got to realize, and that's where Brian Daboll comes into play. And somebody, I forget who it was last time that really said Brian Daboll ain't spit. Fine, but if he's nothing more than somebody that was a buffer between the powers that be and Josh Allen. If Josh Allen said, "I don't like that, but I don't have the gumption to go talk to McDermott about this. I don't have the gumption to go talk to Green about this. Could you do it?" Daboll said, "Yeah, I can." You know, and I'm not afraid of it. But see, sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes the smartest people in the world need somebody to protect their best interest.
Right.
And Josh Allen might be that guy. You don't have to be the guy that's going to stand up on your own too. Your dad ain't got to fight your battles. Your mom ain't got to fight your battles. But you need somebody to if you can't do it. That's why some of the biggest names in the world, they got these bodyguards that'll take you out the game if you get too close, because they ain't got the heart to do it. They got them on the payroll. But we don't have that payroll right. There's no buffer. Now it's Josh Allen defending for himself. And that's why when we first started the show, and that's why when we first started the last season, I said, you can't lead my team if you can't speak up. Because I knew this day was coming. I knew the day was going to come where you got to get this guy some weapons, and they're not going to be there. Now we don't have no money. So what are we going to do then?
Yep. There was I wanted to tap this comment real quick. Spin says, "What is Cook's production if he played for the Bengals? If the Bengals were not completely pass happy, they actually weren't completely pass heavy. If you look at the Buffalo Bills offense, I think a lot of people would say that it was very run centric last year, right? James Cook had 207 attempts last season for 1,009 yards, 16 touchdowns, right? Chase Brown had 229 attempts for 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. Okay. He also had 360 receiving yards for 4 touchdowns. So I think if James Cook had 20 more carries, I mean, realistically,
it's not the 100 yards by virtue of his average.
Yeah. I mean, you just go back to 2023 when he had 237 carries for 1,122 yards. You know what I'm saying? And he was only allowed to score 2 touchdowns, because there were a lot of, there
was a lot he could have had.
There's a lot of 1-yard touchdowns that they scored in 2023 that he could have had.
Mm-hmm.
But Cook also added on to that in 2023, 445 yards receiving for 4 touchdowns. Right. Last season, he had 258 receiving yards for 2 touchdowns. So again, and I think a lot of people are regarding Chase Brown as like one of the next wave of up and coming running backs in terms of, like top tier guys. So I think James Cook in the Bengals offense would look great. Chase Brown looked great. He didn't even start the season as a starter. He only went in because Zach Moss got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what he did with a little over half a season. You know what I mean? So look, I think the numbers are bearing out everything that we're saying with context, everything that we're saying in the black and white from an entire perspective, like an all-around perspective, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that James Cook is justified in being called a top 10 back. He is on in terms of every metric in the NFL right now, he's regarded as a top 10 running back. He just is. So if he's 9 or 10, it doesn't matter. He's still top 10. And if he's top 10, what? Oh my God. That's I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna happen.
Darrington Heaven's
no way
he's gonna jump over Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, and Frank Gore.
He'll never see the field.
No,
he will never see the field.
No,
we've not seen that. The only time that we've seen that so far, this entire tenure of Sean McDermott, is Christian Benford. Why? Because Elam was so egregiously bad in terms of not being able to keep his hands off of receivers. That's the only time we've seen a guy come in and really get a shot like that.
Yeah.
Heel Turn says Cook is the closest thing we have to another player that you have to game plan for. No DC is saying no DC is saying what do we have to do for Curtis Samuel? What do we do for Kincaid? Cook is someone you need to account for. Thank you. And that's the reality of it. As you pointed out, next year or this coming season, we're gonna see they're going to stack boxes. They're going to make sure in formations that they know are typically run formations, they are going to try and cheat the run to stop this guy. Why? Because he showed last year he can break off a touchdown from anywhere on the field. That is not something Ray Davis can do. It is not something that we've seen Ty Johnson do. And Ty Johnson has had a lot of chances in New York and here, and he hasn't done it.
Yeah. Big Papa, believe it or not, I would take that in a heartbeat. Cook to the Panthers for a first and second. Yeah. They'd be brain dead to make that play. They'd be brain dead to do that. And I'd be all around for, I don't care if it's a first in 2027. Yeah, 100%. And I don't know what you said, but tell me what's the word.
All right. I'll text him after the show. All right. What else we got?
Let's see.
Wait. OLI says, what I need an answer for is how can you stick up for Dable but not use that same energy for McD, who has done more? This is not meant to push a button, just need to know.
No, well, I was gonna say I don't. That's probably not for me because I no, never. Okay, go ahead.
The Discord. Remember our.
I do know that. Yeah, I was gonna say I have no issue with McDermott at all. I've said it numerous times. I have no issue with that. Dayball, I really don't care. But the point is, the fact is the fact. There was a buffer for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And if it's a mental crutch, it's a mental crutch. I don't care what else you have to do. If your best player needs, okay, I've said this a million times. Junie, back me up. You know this story. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
His brother's trash.
Mm-hmm.
Tenacious. Horrible. But he always gets a contract. You know why? Because Giannis, when he's on the court, he has to look and see his brother on that bench. He has to visually see him sitting there. So they pay him to not play, but for the best player on their team to be a mental crutch. I have to feel so that's what a Dayball or somebody like that brings to the table. Even if you think he was no good for Jackson, even if you think he was no good, was that
he feels that presence, that the energy, like the presence that he feels
from his brother.
You feel better about what's going on. You feel like you have a support, and that sometimes for people, and not me, not you, not Junie, but some people need to have reassurance.
Right?
They don't walk into a crowded room and say, I can own this, but when you have somebody that has a wingman, the Aces, Dayball, sometimes it works and it paid dividends.
He's actually planning on coming back too, playing next season.
Who's that?
He's actually coming back to play next season.
Giannis?
His
brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but okay. So to answer OLI's question, and for those of you that don't know what he's talking about, in our Discord chat, he made a very reasonable case for why Dayball is not that dude. I like Dayball. I like the job he's done. I liked him as an offensive coordinator when I heard that we were getting him, and I was very happy with that move. But let me first say I understand your perspective, OLI, from the standpoint of, there was a convergence of things that had to go right for him as a coordinator. The players he had, the head coaches he had, and all that kind of stuff. Fine, I get it. What I would say to that though is there's a big difference between the job that Daboll was able to do as an offensive coordinator and the job that Sean was able to do as a defensive coordinator, right? When you look at both of those guys just as coordinators and you match them up apples to apples, Brian Daboll's track record and his success rate is much higher than Sean McDermott's as a defensive coordinator. Mind you, back in Philly, which was Sean McDermott's first coordinator gig after Jim Johnson retired, he had 1 year there and the players hated him. And so he was fired, right? He goes to Carolina. He has, I think it was 4 or 5 years before they get to that. It might have been less than that, actually. It's got like 2 or 3 years before they get to that 2015 season where they made the Super Bowl, right? They get to the Super Bowl and Peyton Manning shreds their defense. All the stars they got on that defense, you want to talk about somebody that had all-time great players on his squad. Sean McDermott has some of the best players. He had Josh Norman. He had Luke Kuechly. He had Thomas Davis. He had a young Shaq Thompson. He had Kawan Short. He had Starlo Tulele. Like even some of the younger up and coming pass rushers that he had. I forget the guy's name. The guy that swatted a pass down or almost had an interception in the Super Bowl too. He was like drafted that year, and Coney Ealy.
Okay,
Coney Ealy made a play in the Super Bowl. So like he had like young stud defensive players on that team, and he even had older heads that nobody expected to be great that played great. So it wasn't like Sean came up with bums and Daboll had all these superstars. Like they both had great players. So if I'm matching apples to apples and I'm comparing apples to apples, Daboll won Super Bowls. Sean McDermott's defense suffered in the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning. However you want to try and spin that, when you compare apples to apples, one got the job done on their side of the ball, the other one didn't, right? And for whatever you want to say about Cam Newton, the foundation of that Carolina Panthers team making the Super Bowl that year was how great their defense was. Like, Cam had an MVP type season, but like that was more so based on his playmaking ability because their best receiver was still Kelvin Benjamin, and their other guy was who was the other 6'4" guy they had? Yeah, Devin Funchess. So it wasn't like they had like a ton of weapons everywhere that they were supposed to do well with in the Super Bowl. No, it was Cam Newton making a bunch of plays, right? So from that standpoint, I cannot sit here and say at all that Daboll is worse than Sean McDermott as a coordinator. And look, I'm not even going to compare the guys as a head coach because until I see Daboll get his Josh Allen, you can't. You can't say Sean McDermott is a better coach when he has the best quarterback in the league. You can't. Daboll hasn't had that. When Daboll was here, we saw the success he had. He was a part of the reason why Josh was able to have the success that he had. It wasn't just Jordan Palmer. Again, a convergence of great things happening. So, look, to me, that's why I say Daboll is better. That's why I appreciate Daboll and don't really appreciate what Sean has done because for all intents and purposes of the players that we've had here in the building these last 9 years on defense, we still haven't gotten it done. We had the number 1 overall defense in 13 seconds. Couldn't get that done. We had a chance, right?
I just saw a graphic on X while you were talking. I was listening to you, but I was looking to see if there was any other news I missed. But there was a graphic. It had Sean McDermott at Josh's wedding, and it had Sean McDermott on the field. And the caption stated, let me see if I can find it again. The caption stated, on the side where he's at the wedding, it said ring bearer. On the side where he's on the sidelines with his hand on his hip, it said ring denier. And it's funny because it loops into what you said earlier. It says Sean McDermott multitasking.
Yeah. That's so good, bro. That's so good. Oh my god.
And yeah, before you say it again, I will tell you guys right now. You can find me on X 40keys _post_podium_podcast. Or at Hamm HAMM 84K716. So give me a follow. I do post a lot there as well.
Perfect. Let's see here. So Spin says comparing an OC to DC is not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. Okay. I mean, if that's your perspective, I understand that. OLI says the Water Boy won Super Bowls there too. Oh, you talking about in New England? Yeah, probably.
Oh Lord, Kevin Benjamin. I know.
Yeah, right.
I don't even want to speak that name. That's a pause moment for me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Laura's right. You got to join the Discord.
Good job, Key.
Yeah.
Good job. I tried that on them too. Didn't work. Join the Discord.
Yo, this is real. I need everybody to take a look at this for a second and understand the truth. Without Josh Allen, the Bills would have the same record as the Jets. I need people to think back to what we had in Nathan Peterman, because that's life without Josh Allen.
Can I interject there? And that bothered me with regards to, I think, Unbill's live today. And Spin, or no, not Spin, Sweat, my guy. Discord, no? What's up?
I'm pretty sure I sent them the link.
Oh, he's in there.
Oh.
I've seen him in there before.
Oh.
I sent it to him too. But no, I it bothers me, and this is not another Josh Allen slander moment, but it bothers me that everybody states, especially people in the know, and on what is the day? The 2nd of June of the year of our Lord 2025, where people would tell me the season's gonna go to ish if Josh Allen gets hurt. Because okay, so I need to understand, why is it that we want that to occur? Because should we not look for a player who can't throw it all away for us, seeing as if he can't go? I'm see, because Tasker said something that really resonated with me, and it bothered me.
Okay.
He said, if you could find somebody that plays like Josh Allen, he's on somebody else's roster. If you could find somebody that plays like, why does it have to be like Josh Allen? Why is it? He's a backup for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it Josh Allen or nobody that can possibly win you 3, 4, 5 games? I mean, we know Trubisky probably can't, but I'm gonna say this, Roy. Are you hearing me? Hear me and hear me well. Is there not a Tyrod Taylor-esque kind of performer out there right now?
Yeah,
I mean,
there is.
You don't have to play, but see, the onus is on Brady to build more of a one-dimensional offense than just what Josh Allen can do, because this isn't Josh Allen's offense, honestly.
That's what. I was just gonna say that. Like, it's not like this offense is built around only what Josh Allen can do. Like this, another competent quarterback could step into this offense and have success. Realistically, this offense was created for Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. This is an offense that was created for Drew Brees. It's a highly efficient passing offense that does a lot of behind the line of scrimmage stuff, and may take a deep shot here and there if a team is extremely vulnerable to it, but they don't make that a part of their offense, regularly. Those are low percentage plays to begin with. So the analytics would dictate that you keep everything within 10 yards and you rely on run after catch. That's the most efficient way to run an offense. And that's what Sean McDermott is all about. He's about efficiency in general. That's the way he runs both sides of the ball.
Yep. And see that in itself is a reason why this 3-headed Jameis Winston. Yeah. I mean, but see, that in itself is a reason why the 3-headed monster we have right now, they have to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
If you could sit down and say, James, okay, I know you want to make this, but what if we can promise you that we're not going to do this? Or we give you all these incentives, or if we give, we'll laden your pay. We can't afford to give you this, but we'll get you, a booster if you hit 10 touchdowns. We'll get you a booster if you get 1,000 yards, and we're not going to screw you out of carries. We're not going to make it impossible, but we can't hit you at 15.
Yeah.
What we can do is 10 and give you maybe $2-3 million in incentives. And in doing so, you can bring in a Jameis Winston or a Tyrod Taylor or somebody else that can't really throw the ball like Josh, but you still got that offensive line. Everybody says is the top dog.
Mm-hmm.
You still got the defense that we think is improved. So maybe we're not a Super Bowl contender if Josh goes down, but why is it that we have to be? Are we afraid? And this is the question I had. Are we afraid of getting that middling 12 to 14 draft pick again? Are we afraid of a year like that? And this goes back into what I say when I say, if you're not winning a Super Bowl with this team, this roster, you didn't do anything. So if you don't get the Super Bowl, you get the 30th pick again. What's the difference between 30 and 14? It just means you're giving Josh Allen a better weapon in the next year's draft. You didn't get the bowl.
Right.
Why? What are we doing? I mean, Mr. Trubisky has a winning record, but for whatever reason, people say he's hot garbage in Buffalo. Mike White, whatever. Maybe, But Shane Bussell, don't know him. But I can tell you, I don't understand why on this day, when you have plenty of time to make a move, when we had months to plan for this, you had a draft where me and Mac talked about Joe Milton ad nauseum. You talk about who was in the last draft? Not Shador. Big Papa, no. Oh, well, he did say Shador. But you're looking at Will Campbell. You're looking at guys from schools that went to the 4th, 5th round that probably could play a similar style that we need to play with the players we have, because this is really just a West Coast offense. That's really what it is. Everybody runs short routes. Everything is a timing route offense. It's yak dependent. So it's not like we need somebody with a rocket arm or somebody, a scrambler, or some out of this world athletic guy to be a quarterback. We just need somebody with the intellect and an arm that's better than Fitzpatrick. That's really what you need to win a couple games. I mean, make it competitive at least. I don't want to flush the toilet and swirl us down the toilet because Josh Allen goes down. And I don't want Josh Allen to have to play another season with some injury that he should be healing. It's ridiculous. At 30 years old, you got to heal. I get out of bed and I'm like, yo, I'm not going to work. I got to heal. No, I still got hella sick time. That's not true, but it's just a joke.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, the Buffalo Bills, I like your idea about the approach to the contract, because realistically, you could give James Cook 12 this season and structure it so that he gets 15 next season when 15 is the market value for running backs. Right. And if you look at the Bills' dead cap number right now on Spotrac, it's $75 million. $75 million. It's almost that's you get what I'm saying? Like it's not rocket science to think that the Bills realistically can't give him that number now this year. Yeah, but they can structure a contract, which they've done before in Josh Allen's contracts and with Von Miller's contracts, where the hit up front, and even with some of these restructures they've done, they do higher cash payouts, or they do some kind of restructuring where there's less money up front on the books and there's more money pushed towards the later years of the contract. You could easily do something like that for James Cook.
It's not linear. The contracts are never linear.
Right. So this idea that he has to get exactly 15 million or death occurs, I don't think that's Cook's stance at all. That may be his position publicly, but I don't think that's his realistic position in the negotiation room. What I think it really boils down to is the Bills don't value the running back position the way other teams do because they have Josh Allen. It's exactly what Sal Capaccio said. So I'm actually agreeing with the guy that everybody wants to prop up as, that's the guy that we should trust. Fine. I agree with him there. I don't think the Bills value the running back position the way they should. Yeah. Especially when you have a guy like James Cook. That's why I made the point that I did earlier in the show of, you can have your stance on we don't value running backs, but if you run into one that has that kind of value, you need to take advantage. Don't just brush him off as if he's any old guy.
Yeah, they're gonna let him go and then try to find the next one like that. Like, how does that work? I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are we making it harder than it has to be?
Yeah. But you know what I think would help that negotiation?
I think. It's funny you caught me there because I was looking at the quarterbacks in the draft that could have been had. But you know what? We probably would have known.
Got an empty bottle right here, keeping.
No, you know what it is? I think we would have known about those guys when they went to the draft. They would have had a bottle of Reed's tea.
Oh man,
yeah, they should have had. They should have had it.
Listen. We just this tea is taking over the world. I just want y'all to understand this tea is taking over the world. Pop just took the tea to I think they were in Chicago, right? Or they might have been in Chicago. They were in Illinois, right? And the coach from Illinois University was at this event that they were at, and he professed to be like a tea connoisseur, and he tasted tea. He like one sip, he's like, oh yeah, this is it. Basically said he wants us to come back and bring the tea to the first game of the season.
Bring the tea
to the first. Yeah, you can't. We can't go there without a tea. but again, this is what happens when you put, you know, such great flavor with such healthy elements into a real brewed tea. This ain't the Lipton stuff that ain't real brewed tea. Like, this is real brewed tea. It's like right out the pot into the bottle. Like that's how they roll. So
it's like having a warm meal.
You know, I did have one thing that I've been sitting on for a while, and I can't let this go any further. Just give me 5 minutes, if you will.
Yeah.
I had, and I'm kicking myself. I am kicking myself early because people that follow the Bills, follow the Sabres, they know the Sabres hired Eric Stahl in as an associate to the GM to help him with the player evaluations and stuff like that. And I said in my notes, and this has been copied and pasted day after day after day, and I've never talked about it. I said, wouldn't it be fun if the Bills did something like that? Wouldn't it be fun if the Bills infrastructure was good enough to get a green guy in the front office for a second set of eyes? I said, who could it be? I said, you know, and I was thinking, I was being funny. I said, somebody with a recent here, but long, successful career as a whole. Sounds like somebody else that wants to be a GM. Von Miller. Now, I said this was about a month ago now. And it would definitely be interesting, but I said, you know, we had a bad line, but under Von Miller, it would be criminal for him not to be able to come in and help the young troops, help Landon Jackson, Javon Solomons, and even Rousseau and people like that. Give him what he knows. But then, you know what happened and what brought this to my attention again? I was just looking, and you know what the Bills did? The Bills promoted Terrence Gray to assistant general manager, Andy Gosper to assistant general manager. Guess who Terrence Gray is? He used to be the head of scouting. Interesting. Coincidence? I think not. The Terrence Gay, we said how many times have I said Bean is not a good evaluation of talent? How many times have we said that he needs to lean on the scouts?
Yeah, he's not a football guy.
And now his associate GM is the ex-head of college scouting. Now you got a football guy in his ear in the same basic office space.
Yeah.
You know, then they move MK Collins to player personnel coordinator. They have RJ Webb to college area scout. They got Jay Hill, Bledsoe college scout. So it looks like they're moving more people into roles to be scouts, to be a more of authoritative voice and an eye and ear for Brandon Beane in the scouting room. So this is what I want to see. This is what I need, because I am tired of Brandon Beane saying, you know, we looked at this, we looked at that, and we know you don't know what you're looking at. We know you don't know what you're talking about. We know you're the money guy. Boy, you know how to talk to Jim Overdorf. When he retires, I really want to see what happens to the Bills. But
what
you got?
Albert's at it again. So their special team guy is long established, so the argument is kind of invalid.
What special teams guy?
Our special teams coordinator.
Where'd he come from?
Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay.
Oh, wait, nope.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, long established. I was thinking, you know, with Buffalo, but I'm like, he's brand new here. Okay.
Bro, try to make a point.
I mean, no, it's not that. It's just okay.
I think this kind of goes to show there's holes to be poked everywhere.
There you go. But yeah, no, Albert said he's joking. But no, you know, and it wasn't me being like bulldogging. So it was like I have nothing because I don't know anything about Carolina special teams. I have to research and see what. And, you know, so no, it wasn't like you're an idiot and you know, it was just like I don't know anything about it, so let me just not until I figure this out. I was gonna have something for you on Friday, Albert, but no, I don't have to. But
even I did all this research and you was just playing around. Right. What the hell?
You were just yanking my chain. Right. Good Lord. But no,
Laura said I'm gonna need a welfare check on Judy every show. Yeah.
He's trying.
Roy, control yourself, bro. Dang, bro.
Can't.
Bringing Laura Lovelace into the conversation.
Yep.
And asking what holes need to be poked.
Hey, yo, pause.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said,
right, pause on that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He said, where are those holes? And then Nate says, always holes to be poked.
No, you know where the holes are to be poked? You know where the holes need to be poked?
Oh my God, bro.
in the seal of a Reeves tea bottle.
Yes.
That's where holes need to be poked.
That's the hole that needs to be poked. There you go.
Why?
Bring
Because you got to receive this one part of refreshingness. You got to receive this one part of deliciousness. You got to receive the two parts, not one, but both parts of the healthy. Roy, for your mind. For your mind. But that's what you can expect when there's only 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, and let me tell you, that's a good drink there. I don't have to tell you because the guy in Chicago already said it's a good drink there. I don't have a say in this anymore. It's above me now.
No,
like that guy said, it's above me now.
That's right.
So what are you doing? Get yourself in a case. Don't do it individual. You're just wasting your time. You won't be disappointed. What do I know? See for yourself. Reeves Tea. Click the link in the description below and use the code PPP to let them know who sent you. And before you go, I honestly, Papa, I didn't see the cover to Madden yet. Is that with Saquon backwards or something like that?
Yes, it's the backwards hurdle from Saquon Barkley.
I've seen that.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we kind of knew.
Yeah, I'm tired. Honestly, I'm tired of the animation for that because there's 2 reasons. I know we're gonna get out of here, but the first reason, it's one of those moments that will never be duplicated.
Mm-hmm.
It was so raw that anybody that does it now is doing it on purpose. Saquon was just reacting.
Exactly.
And the second thing I hate is Steph Curry. Why do I bring Steph Curry? Kids see that, they emulate it. Oh, it's cool. Let me shoot threes.
Yep, shoot from
now
the
I'm
half-court line.
Yeah, now I'm going to try to jump over somebody backwards. Watch your head, watch your neck, watch your arms. Parents, I hope you have insurance on these kids because just talk to them before they buy the game. You're worried about Grand Theft Auto 6 for your kids. It's probably safer than these kids playing Mad when they think they can do all this invincible nonsense.
Meanwhile, my 8-year-old son is over here scoring 15 footers from deep in soccer. Oh man, I loved it. He had this one breakaway his last game. Yo, he nice.
Did he bend it like Beckham?
Huh?
Did he bend it like Beckham?
Nah, he ain't there yet.
Okay.
He ain't there yet. But like he's because his thing was he wasn't that aggressive. You know what I mean? He would kind of play more defense than anything. He's a good goalie too. He plays goalie. But he's now starting to build that confidence and get more aggressive. And he had this last breakaway. It was amazing. It was amazing. I might post it on YouTube.
You go.
Yeah, it's dope. But anyway, look, we gotta jump because what I'd like to do is I'd like to get our Madden GM here, 40 Keys, to do a quick press conference after the show if that's possible at all. We'll see. Look at his eyes. He's like, all right, here we go. If you haven't so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. And look, when we go live, when we got discount stuff happening with our merchandise, all of that stuff, those are the types of things that you'll get notified about, right? So you gotta be involved. You gotta have that bell on, and you gotta be you gotta be subscribed in order to get all that great stuff, right? So look, we got 1,306 people watching right now. Don't be shy. We don't bite.
I just thought about it. When you get those gift memberships, if you're not subscribed to our channel, you're not eligible. You got to be subscribed to our channel to get those memberships.
That's very true.
So come on in. The OLI gave a couple out. I gave a couple out. Come on in. Maybe you get yourself a free one. You're part of the clan for real.
Yep. So look, we got a bunch of stuff, coming up this season. We have our Post Podium Podcast Fantasy Football League. We have the Discord chat to offer to our members. We have some Madden content coming out for our members where we're doing a playthrough of the Madden 2025 season. I don't think the schedule is going to be exactly the same as the Bills, but we want to have some fun with it. So we decided to, make ourselves the head coach, GM of the Buffalo Bills. Junie is the owner of the team.
Yes, sir.
And we're basically going through, we're taking everybody through the roster moves. We're talking through everything, just kind of giving people that feeling of having an inside look at how the Bills, work their business, right? Even through the gameplay, like we're kind of talking through what we see and all that kind of stuff. Really interesting stuff. But the best part of it is the post-game press conferences and whether there's like issues with a player or something like that. We're gonna do some parody stuff with it. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So make sure you check for that stuff. That's gonna be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We finished our first batch of content the last couple of weeks. So definitely look forward to that coming out in the next couple of weeks. As far as the very first episode available for members only. Other than that, if you have not checked out our merch page, that is in the link of this description. Okay, so is the link for Reeves Tea. So is the link for my guy Rich, who was in our chat today. Welcome back, my man. High Mike High Tech is the premier tech company when it comes to repairs, when it comes to installations, when it comes to anything that you might need regarding your technology in your home or your business. Make sure you check my man Rich out, HighMikeHighTech.com, for all of your technology needs. And of course, our AO producer got his own podcast. Basketball Truth and Knowledge is the name of the basketball podcast. He is on YouTube. Make sure you check that out. He's also got a gaming channel that he just started, and he's shooting the Last of Us content. He's working towards the Last of Us 2 content right after that. That is Babyface Assassin 21 on YouTube and on Twitch. So wherever you watch your game streaming, you can hit him up there and check him out. I think that's all I got, and that was a lot. So I thank everybody for sticking with us this far. We got to jump ship here, though. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home with All Truth, No Sodium takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
The Keys. See you later.
Yeah, producer. Love y'all.
All right, y'all have a great night. Peace. No Timo chords.
You got him with Zane.
Oh my gosh, bro. That was so old. You bringing it up again?
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Oh,